Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's going well. Woke up to a big surprise this morning. We'll get to talk about that, but a little unexpected, but yeah, it's okay. It's welcome. Glad to see everyone here out there in the chat. Hey there. We've got Istaphobos is out there in the chat. The absolutely amazing new YouTuber on the scene who's blowing up everything and changing the world of YouTube.
Istaphobos is taking the world of YouTube. I'm not kidding. It's
taking it by storm.
Is taking the world of YouTube by storm. I checked, I think, the other day, maybe yesterday or something, and every time I look, I see he gets a lot of new followers and new views and stuff like that. So must be doing something right.
Yep, got to be doing something right.
Got to be doing something right. And you, on the other hand, you had a nice Elon Musk level tweet exploding.
It's a little surprising, yes.
To be fair, every tweet of his is like that, but even to get one that's kind of like an Elon Musk is pretty cool.
It was a bit of a surprise, sure, yeah. So, I mean, I guess we can start there. Just talking about, there has been a lot of discussion over the last few days about Rotten Tomatoes and exactly how rotten that is. And there's a few different posts. Oh, hold on. I got an issue here. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Few different posts that have been going around talking about, why, Rotten Tomatoes has this wild review, like the numbers that are there for the Odyssey. So when you go to look at Rotten Tomatoes, right, which, like I said, I think we know just exactly how rotten it is now. I'm sharing the screen, Price. You'll have to presentation mode.
Oh, I didn't do the thing. Oh, here you go.
That's fine. Yep. So, the Rotten Tomatoes still this has not budged over a very controversial weekend, right? With everything that's been happening with the Odyssey, all the discussions that are out there, the reactions that people are having, still their number says 97% on the popcorn meter. And that's of verified ratings. Of course, a lot of people do not understand what verified means. There's been a lot of idiots out there that just think that verified, that just means that you gave them your email address or something. No, verified, if you don't know, means that you have to have bought your ticket through a platform that they can track. So You have to have bought it through Fandango or movietickets.com or something. Other theaters have talked about it being part of their system or whatever, but it's not perfect and it doesn't work with certain things like movie passes, where I don't actually go and buy a ticket. I can't actually go in and verify that I got that ticket. So I cannot get a verified review because I didn't buy my ticket through Fandango. So all you can have then are the other reviews. So if you go and look at verified ratings, you can choose all audience and you can see the reviews that are there. So somebody decided to do the work, and let me see if I can find it real quick, because I bookmarked one of them at least that we can talk about here. Oh, nope. That's not it. Bookmarks. Here we go. So there's a few different people that were talking about this. One of them, this is Gaz54, his post, where people were basically doing just a little bit of data mining on the back end. People were saying they're hacking. They're not. They're doing data mining, just kind of looking at the available files that are posted on the site. And so they were able to dig into, and a lot of this happened out here on Reddit, which, first of all, I avoid Reddit like
No,
the
but
plague.
Kotaku in Action, from what I remember, is a place on Reddit that they're actually kind of not the
Yeah.
usual. I mean, they're usually they're ones that push back on this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I only say this because I recall that in this forum, there have been times that I made a video and people actually shared it there, and they didn't all
okay,
get
cool.
upset. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, they didn't all get
Sure,
upset at
yeah.
each other.
There are islands of sane human beings inside of
On Reddit, yeah.
but they are few and far between.
Very
you have
rare.
to,
If
you
you
have
told
to
me to go to,
swim
like,
through the
yeah.
sea of filth to find them.
Right, right. I mean, if you told me that I had to go to a place where there's some sensible people talking about pop culture, at least from my experience, I've seen, some okay people there. I can't say all the time. I'm not there every second, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So they essentially they were able to dig into the actual data files on the back end, the JavaScript notation files that are used for their database, and they essentially were able to figure out they're able to look at that there's basically two different sets of reviews. There's push and pull. There are the ones that are stuck in your face, and then they're the ones that are sort of buried that you have to look at. And the ones that are buried, it says here, see the real numbers for yourself. The old pull audience data is still sitting right behind RT's page source code if you know where to look. So you can find the media scorecard in the JSON file. You can dig all of that stuff out. And what they essentially found is if you go to pull that audience data and the reviews that are posted up there, in that audience data, you can find that the actual audience score for people that have posted stuff on Rotten Tomatoes is in fact 56%, which is much closer, much more in line with what we've seen on other platforms. For instance, Criticless, which I've been kind of getting into recently, kind of playing with. Criticless, it's I believe a 49 is the review over on Criticless right now, is the average for the Odyssey, and over on Metacritic, it is still around a 51, right? So this is far more in line with what we've been seeing. So this was an interesting post, something interesting to share, and to think about that. Yeah, like this data is back there, but they won't actually let you see it. They'll let you look at these individual reviews, right? They will let you dig through and look at these individual reviews, where, of course, you have the verified,
Right.
which is the only one that they aggregate for you. And then you have the all audience. And you can look through the all audience and you can find, what you find there.
But didn't I hear something that the verified ones are the ones that bought the tickets through Fandango, and then on their way out of the theater, they get like a little thing of like, how many stars would you rate this, or something like that? Trying to is there something like that going on?
I don't know. There is. I mean, there's Cinema Score, which where they score stuff as people are coming out of the theater. I don't know about Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if they do anything.
I read somewhere, and I could be wrong on this, that the app itself on your way out, tries to time whenever.
Oh, if you buy it through Fandango, yes. Yeah. I think if you buy it through Fandango, it basically sends you a little notification. Just like when I get my ticket from AMC, right? When I use my little pass, my movie pass thing,
right?
It does come up after you, and it does it for regular tickets too. They sort of bump you with a little email saying, "Hey, we hope you enjoyed it. Do you want to review the movie?" Like right. It does that. Like, or how was your experience? Same thing you get when you go to when you order food with using the app from Chick-fil-A or something. They drop you a little email or a little notification like, "Hey, did you enjoy your
restaurants,
food?" Right?
Now they have like those kind of, like those kind of chain places. I don't know if it's like if you're at a Applebee's or Chili's or whatever, one of those things. They give you this kind of little thing with an app on it, and you could pay with it. You could pay instead of like calling the waiter. You could pay through the thing and whatever. And at the end of it, they're like, "Hey, do you want to answer a few questions about like your waiter's service?" And I never want to say no because I don't want to ruin anything for the waiter. So I say like, "Sure." And then they unload like 50 questions. They won't leave you alone. It's like, just stop asking me questions. You didn't do a bad job, but please stop. Like, I don't want any of these questions, so it's very frustrating. But never mind, go on. We're
No.
looking at Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, so we, that's where you can see the Rotten Tomato scores, and you can see there's the verified audience, there is the all audience, right? So all audience is just anybody who comes to the site to review it, but they didn't buy their tickets through Fandango, so they don't get the verified thing on it saying, well, somebody could just be writing any old review, right? And
Right.
they're not verified because we can't verify that they actually bought a ticket. So that's the point, right? When this was added, Price? This whole verified audience thing, do you remember?
Usually when there's a movie that they claim, quote unquote, was review bombed, they start rolling out other features. So I don't know which one, but I know that each time, like Captain Marvel, there used to be a button where you're excited to see a movie or not that hasn't come out yet. So they removed that because people weren't excited for Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Yes,
and they made this change. They made this change after Captain Marvel too, because people claimed that, well, look at all the tickets that it sold. Look how well it did. It's absurd to think that this movie is getting rated poorly. So this must be review bombing. And so in order to say, oh, well, we're going to prevent review bombing, not only did they delete a lot of reviews and stuff, which people were, quite angry about that at the time, but they also switched to this verified audience mess, right? Where they were saying, oh, well, if you don't buy your ticket through the Fandango, then we're not going to actually share your ratings with everybody. You can still see the reviews; they're still here. In fact, you can see all of these people, right? But you can still review stuff there. But yes, they don't actually aggregate this score anymore. They just leave all audience just sort of sitting over here like people can review stuff. So anyway, after having seen all that stuff, looking at all of that stuff, actually, I had kind of gone around and I had put my review up in a few places after I wrote it and put it out on Twitter. I believe I put that out Friday.
Okay.
So I went to Rotten Tomatoes and thought, hey, well, there's all this discussion about Rotten Tomatoes. What the hell? I'll put my review up on Rotten Tomatoes as well, even though I know it's going to go in all audience because I can't verify my ticket. Their system won't work with AMC's system for the Movie Pass, whatever. So I did. I put my review up. Let's see. It's here we go.
97. That's just so bogus.
Yeah. So there's my review posted right there. Okay. Added that to the bottom of my reviews, right? This is where you go, just at the bottom under all the other reviews and stuff. You can go down and you can add your rating. So I added my rating and my little review. Now you'll note, like, if you look at this real quick, it pretty much I rearranged it. I wrote a little bit more because I had more space here than I used on Twitter. So I rearranged things a little bit, put some different things up here, but it's still pretty much exactly the same, almost the same language as what I posted on X.
Yeah, and it was a balanced review. You weren't just saying,
exactly.
You weren't just saying this is woke shit, don't see it. You said,
yes.
There were some issues with it, but there were a few things that I liked. But there's problems with this movie, which I think is a fair and balanced review.
Yeah, and I said, look, here's some things, here's what I generally thought about it. Here's some negative things. Here's some positive things. Yeah, I thought the costuming and the environments were really bland and ugly looking, and that the cinematography did not inspire me. I thought a lot of it was pretty cheap. It didn't work. The armor is absurd. A lot of it looks very plasticky and silly, especially Agamemnon, who I joked about how it's just comical looking, right? I said that the score was terrible, drove me crazy. I hated it. But then I said, hey, is this the worst film I've ever seen? Not even close. I enjoyed some of it. I enjoyed the scene, even though they changed a lot of it. I enjoyed the scene with the Cyclops, Polyphemus. I actually enjoyed the scene with Cersei. A lot of people have argued with me. They said, no, this is wrong, that's wrong, whatever. It's fine. I actually thought that scene was performed well. I did like the way that they used the effects for the transformation in pigs and stuff. I thought that was fine. I also thought that the sacking of Troy was filmed well. With just the way that they did it, the way that it was shot, even though it was in the dark, which most of the film was very dark, but that one should be in the dark because it was supposed to happen at night. Right. So I put my review up here, and this was posted Friday. This has gone nowhere. I put that up days ago, and it has not been accepted. It is not publicly viewable. Even though, as we said, this isn't a 1-star, oh, this is woke garbage, right? This is a middling review.
Between you and me, even if you wrote that it was woke garbage, it's not like you would be completely off target in parts of it. And that's what I also said, that I understand the issues with it, but I was a little more forgiving, but I wouldn't. There's no way this movie is a 97. Okay, it's not a 94 and it's not a 97. People that say that, in my opinion, are being disingenuous. I think that just my own quick personal take. If you wanted a movie that's a faithful adaptation and doesn't have modern day weird crap and all these kind of issues, I think that you're going to fail this movie. And ultimately, the way I see it, anything below a 60 is considered a failing grade. You gave it basically a 50 out of 100. I think that if you're coming from that perspective, it's fair enough, and that's really the grade it deserves. I was saying on the stream that, like, for me, I kind of look at it as, like, Nolan is just doing whatever the fuck Nolan wants to. And yeah, it has those things, and yeah, they're a bit annoying, but it's kind of like a popcorn movie that I saw at once, and like you said, I probably won't see again. It was okay, I guess. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. I would have given it somewhere between like a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. Something just like, not spectacular, but it's okay, I guess, or something like that. If you're forgiving, which I guess I was a little more forgiving than you, but I can also understand people that are like, we don't want to forgive. We don't want to let this slide, and we don't want to give this thing a pass because it sends the wrong message. I respect all of those opinions, but I think that anything between like a 50 to like a 70, I think that's the range of reviews that at least people are being somewhat honest. I mean, some people can give it a 0 if they want, but that to me seems like reasonable grades to give it. Somewhere between failing and like mid, you know what I mean?
yeah, of course.
That's I think that the range of what it seems like to me. Because like for me, if I see a good movie that I genuinely think it's good, like I'm like, wow, this is really good, it'll be like an 80 and above. And if it's a failing, it's like anything below a 60. So like I said, 65 to 70 would be like, it's not a failure, but it's like watchable. And you have to put aside the fact that he takes a dump on whatever the source material is. And if you don't like that, you could also give it like a 50, and I don't have an issue with that. But what I'm trying to say is that your opinion here is very balanced. It's not just you being like a dick or anything like that. So you went and you checked and you didn't find your thing anywhere. Like,
yeah, no. So what happens essentially? So I can show you real quick, and I'll be completely honest. I had an account. I've had an account for a while, but for whatever reason, I could not sign into it. There was something, either they had deleted it because I hadn't been there in a while, or hadn't signed in a while, whatever. So I had to re-log in, basically start a whole new account. So I had a handful of reviews that had been posted, and that account was old, but I could not get into it. It would not let me in. So I had to actually log in and under a new account. No profile, no history, nothing. So I logged in, I kind of set everything up, whatever. I wrote my review. So if you go in, I've actually gone in and I've reviewed a few other movies too. So you will know that the review is live. There's a couple of ways to do it. If you're in the RT app, okay. If you actually look in the app, you can see it there, and you can also see that those things that people in the app can actually give little like emoticon responses to it. There's funny little like sparkly tomatoes and smiling tomatoes and stuff like that people can give you feedback on the reviews. So you can see that it's there, but also you can see that the review shows up here in your list of reviews that you have made. You'll see that I've made a few others. Minions and Monsters, My Neighbor Totoro, Toy Story 5, Disclosure. These were some that were just recommended. Recent movies, whatever. I threw up some real small little reviews for those. But you'll notice that there's one review that is not
the Odyssey,
showing.
Missing.
Not showing here. That review was posted days ago. And it is not showing up. Now, these others showing up, but this one is not. So anyway, after I posted that review, and I noticed that after several days, nothing had happened. No, it was not going anywhere. It was not getting posted. And again, that was a clean review. There was no swear words in it. There was no culture war stuff in it. There was no anything. It was just like, here's my thoughts on the movie, whatever. So I thought, I'm curious. What happens if I go make a brand new account, unverified. Don't change, don't change a thing. Just go set up a brand new account. What if I go and give a positive review, glowing review, right? What happens then? So
Right.
that is what resulted. That silly little experiment is what resulted in this tweet that now has 45,000.
It's amazing, man. That's
My
amazing.
God. Okay.
Every time that you look at it, it's like more 40. I'm telling you, 45,000. That's like an Elon Musk tweet. That's just amazing.
Just a little bit. I haven't checked to see if Elon Musk liked it yet, but he didn't retweet. He hasn't retweeted it, I don't think.
He should follow you, and we should invite him here so he can.
Oh yeah, we'll have Elon come give us a chat. So I just thought, hey, I'm gonna go out and just see like what happens if I make a fake review. So I did this while sitting at the dinner table while we were out having dinner. My kids were up ordering some ice cream, whatever. I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, what the hell? So I had it open on my phone, on my phone it had my personal account with my personal email and everything. But I did it just because I wanted to check it out. So I created a review, just like glowing, ridiculous review. And in fact, I have a picture of it right here. Here's the glowing, ridiculous review that I left. And it was posted public within an hour.
Wow.
On a brand new account that had no previous
history.
Reviews, no history. What didn't even have a customized, like you can go in and you can change your custom name and you can give yourself a logo and all that stuff. Nothing.
I see.
So I posted this. It went live, was posted publicly in an hour. So I thought, this is ridiculous. How is this? I posted a very reasonable, middle of the road review, not just some 1.5 star. This is what
I thought it was very thoughtful.
Review.
Seriously, I thought it was very thoughtful.
So posted that, and my other review, 3 days old, nothing. This review up in an hour. So I just posted this. I posted that on YouTube, or not YouTube. Sorry, I posted that on X, and it's just blew up. It was getting shared all over the place, getting likes all over the place, also getting all sorts of crazy hate from people. These Nolan stans, some of these people are psychotic, man. They are out of their minds. And I ran into more than a few of them in my replies when I posted my review, saying, "Oh, you didn't even go see the movie. You're a dumbass. Oh, take a long walk off a short pier, stuff like that." So, they were arguing with me, yelling, "Oh, you're a liar," whatever. So yeah, I posted these pictures, and of course, almost nobody said, "Oh yeah, I can see that. You're great. That obviously, yeah, that's messed up." No, they are, of course, all of the stands saying, "Oh, you're just a liar. You just went and you just screenshotted a couple of posts. You're such a liar." Okay, so I did it again. I went and created another fake account. Another account. This time I used a different email address and a different name so that it wasn't tied back to me. So I didn't have to scratch out the name and everything there so that it could be tied to me. And by the way, I did go back and I deleted this from RT because I didn't want some psycho trying to find this and then track me down. But I made another one.
Okay.
And that one was posted by this morning. Another fake review, another account, no history, no other reviews, nothing. Even posted a link so people could go and look at my user profile for that fake account that I made. But yeah, I created another 5-star review. I put all of this stuff in here. Go see it now. It's amazing. It's so epic. Masterpiece, whatever. And immediately people so, "Oh, you're such a liar. You're so full of it," whatever.
No,
yeah.
I know you, and you're not a liar. Like I at least I can give my experience. I have not seen until today. You're what I consider the opposite of a liar. You don't just say stuff, and I believe you 100%. You're a very kind of thorough person and methodical, and I believe you did all of these things, and nothing that you're saying here is false.
So I did this not once, but twice. Created a brand new, empty, worthless account with no history to it whatsoever. Posted a review, but it was positive, and it went up in hours.
And they still haven't posted the original one.
And they still haven't posted my original
mid.
one from Friday. Yeah, that was like, it's just kind of mid. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that they're not posting any negative reviews. That would be disingenuous. There are negative reviews that are available up there. There absolutely are.
No, but I have a different theory, though. You know what I think my theory is? You were one of the earlier ones to see the movie and to give it a negative review. And at that moment in time, they preferred to have like their system deflect a lot of those. Now, maybe now they're letting a few of those through, but I think that initially they didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. I think that they, early on, this is why, like, right, some of those movies, those are some big tentpole movies, for some of these, like Disclosure Day, for some of these studios, that I posted a negative review, more negative than the one I posted for the Odyssey, and it went up almost immediately, right?
Right.
They're policing what's being posted against these current movies. Of course, there is another thing that many people have also mentioned. Rotten Tomatoes is, of course, owned by Fandango. Fandango is owned by NBC Universal.
Right.
Universal being the studio that distributed the Odyssey. So yeah, it's all just a I hate to say there's a conspiracy, right? It's not that. I wouldn't say conspiracy. I think it's pretty obvious what they're doing. They're just hiding reviews that they don't want posted so that their site, which, by the way, people say like, oh, you don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. Nobody trusts Rotten Tomatoes, whatever. But if you go and you go look at a movie on, different platforms and stuff like that, a lot of them will pull in the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. They have partnerships with them.
Right.
So like if I go to buy a movie on, say, Apple TV, right?
Yep.
It pulls the reviews in from Rotten Tomatoes and posts those up there like they're God's honest truth. Like they are the determinant of what what kind of score you should receive. And there's plenty of other plenty of other sites as well. So it's kind of, it's like, I know we can say don't trust it, but then there's a lot of people that still look at it and think it's trustworthy. They have not heard stories like this, where we're making it obvious that they are hiding reviews. They are burying reviews, legit, honest reviews. This is not like review bar. I didn't take the same post and copy and paste it like a dozen times across a dozen accounts to try to get it viewed, right? It was a genuine handwritten review, no AI, whatever. Put it up there, and then they're hiding it. They're burying these things where you can go in and you can create a brand new, empty, useless account. And you can go in and post a positive review, and now it's up publicly for everyone to see within hours. I mean, it's just absurd. People haven't heard all the stories that we know, Price, about how there have been reviewers that are being bought off to go post positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
And the other thing is, in the news, they're really hyping up the fact that they're like, wow, nobody can buy any tickets anymore to this movie. That's not true. You can buy tickets. I guess for those 20 theaters that have the 70 millimeter IMAX, maybe you have trouble finding one of those and actually buying a ticket for that. But when it comes to just your local theaters, I don't think that this is a movie that you can't get tickets to. So this is also another spin that I'm seeing in the press. And again, I say, like, I understand, like, and this may upset some people, because I understand that most people, there's two types of people. Ones that want you to say that this movie is the worst thing that ever happened, and it's like a 0 out of 100, and people that want to say that this is the best, and usually those are like weird activists and stuff, or weird Nolan stands, that they want you to say that it's like a 100 out of 100. And I'm actually not in any of those camps. I don't think that it's the worst thing that I've ever seen. I also don't think that it's 100 out of 100. It's not the kind of the movie. They're really trying to hype this up as like a modern day masterpiece. But I think that over time, as the dust settles, I don't think that this is going to be that type of modern day masterpiece. It doesn't hold up like compared to the kind of, you know, iconic cinematic movies we either grew up with or have seen for many years, or ones even before our time. I don't think it's that good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So at best, it's like I think that the way you'll score this movie or how much you'll enjoy it is how much you're willing to accept this kind of interpretation, which very much leans into like modern day stuff. I think that one of the things, and I've been thinking a lot about it, when I started the movie, the first half hour, I was kind of miserable. All the stuff, like, you know, the casting choices and the weird stuff was very glaring. It kind of had a slow pacing to it, and I was even, I would dare say, in the first 30 minutes, like a bit bored. I think from the Cyclops scenes, I thought, okay, that's a little bit interesting. And then throughout the movie, I just like, you know, for lack of a better term, I got used to it, you know, to whatever style he was going for and whatever, and just watched it for what it was. The one thing that I'll say is, and this is also something that I haven't said until now, it's like when they took the Star Wars franchise and they made The Last Jedi, that's something that's like a disaster of epic proportions, because Star Wars, the original trilogy, is an epic. You know what I mean? Those are
Hmm.
classic movies. And the fact that you made this Last Jedi thing and you made Luke Skywalker a bum is super disrespectful to fans. But worse than anything, you and I can't go and make another Last Jedi now. You know what I mean? That was a situation where you still had the actors. One of them has passed away since. You still had the actors, you still had the setup, and you could have made a worthy sequel, but instead you gave the fans the middle finger. In the case of the Odyssey, this is a very, very old text. And at this point, if we don't like what Christopher Nolan did, theoretically, we could grab a camera and some AI and make our own Odyssey. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't taken over the franchise. It's not like a Kathleen Kennedy situation. It's not one of those even like James Gunn situations or anything like that, that somebody's holding your franchise hostage and nobody else can make a film. He gave his interpretation. It's an old text. He wanted to do it this way. He can. Just like somebody made "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" or I didn't say it right, but you know, "Oh
Oh, brother,
brother,
where art thou? Yeah.
where art thou?" It slipped in this late hour, weird off my tongue, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you and if I will say this about Nolan, if he would have made this, that it's not happening on Earth, it's happening on a different planet, we're different, like, you know, a different timeline, a different planet, a different world, and it's just taking the idea of like the Odyssey and making it into something else. I would have felt better about that, because at least you're just creating your own world and using that as an inspiration, which, like, when it comes to copyright, you're totally allowed to do. I understand that if he said he's doing properly, doing like the Odyssey, and people are expecting, you know, a faithful adaptation, I can understand where people would be disappointed. But like I said, if nothing else, he didn't hijack it. It's not his. It doesn't keep anybody from doing other interpretations. You got what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Which is why maybe, and that's perhaps why I'm a little more forgiving. I say a little more. It's not that I looked at it and I thought that those casting choices were great. If anything, they kind of take you out of the movie in different parts, and they're dumb. It's not that I watched it and suddenly like he won me over with his weird decisions. It's just that I said, you know, I've sat through movies this over the past several years, and there have been worse movies that I sat through. This wasn't like, you know, like we saw Supergirl, and I was barely able to get through it. I was really struggling to get through the movie. It was that bad. And in this case, like, it wasn't that I was struggling to get through it. It just feels like Christopher Nolan can do a whole lot better than this, and really didn't need any of this weird agenda peddling nonsense, you know?
Oh yeah, no question. He could do much better than this. Again, I spent some time. Obviously, you know, we talked about it here on Thursday. I ended up wasn't feeling great on Sunday, so I wasn't over on Brown's channel, but I did it later that evening. Hung out with Mark and Tom. We're talking about it on Mark's channel later at night, and you know, we spent quite a bit of time going back and forth over this, and how, like, it's just, he just kind of missed the whole point of the Odyssey, right? Which we'll talk about that here in a little bit too, because you know, the feminist translation that he used, right? Did you see that post today, Price?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the post, but
okay, so the feminist translation, you know, that he used, the author basically came out and said that Nolan missed the point of the Odyssey. So the author that wrote the translation that he used says he screwed it up. we'll
That's
get
so
to that.
weird.
We'll get to that in a
He
little
didn't
bit.
make it feminist enough? What is it that he messed up?
Well, I think she's quite literally saying, like, she made this more feminist translation, but still kept sort of the core of the story there of who Odysseus is, and that he ruined that. Like, he threw out who Odysseus actually is in the story.
I
Like,
believe that.
and replaced it with this PTSD, guilt trip, whatever thing where he needs therapy before he can go home after war, kind of thing, which is not, that's not the story, right? The story is about his heroism, how his cleverness, his incredible skill in war, but he's also incredibly prideful. It's his hubris, right? And so he has to pay the price for that hubris before he can go back. And when he does, he's then a better king. He's a better man because he now, has been humbled. He's been brought down by the gods to where he's no longer seeing himself as rivaling the gods. He understands his place. He understands his humanity, and he's able to be a better king for it. And that's really the overarching story. And he completely threw all of that out and just made it this, story about original sin and his PTSD and whatever.
I see.
And it's absurd, right? And just so you know, this is, I was just looking at the who had quoted or reposted stuff, and I was looking at the quotes here. And this is the kind of stuff that you'll see all over the replies to my post. From these stands, from these Nolan fans here. Not to say this is the average Nolan, apologist or whatever, but this is the kind of thing that I'm seeing all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
First of all, I don't think any movie is worth that kind of language and whatever. There have been people that have liked a movie, like those kind of back in the day, especially when there was the heated debates of something like A Last Jedi. I encountered enough weirdos that said they liked it, but I never, even though I didn't understand what they wanted, and in most cases, you could tell that they didn't really like the movie. They just liked whatever activism they thought that it supported, which I found annoying. Even when that was clearly the case, I would never say something like this to anybody. You know what I mean? Like I don't need people can like or dislike a movie that I like, but it doesn't have to get that personal. You know what I mean? Like, even if they are assholes,
Yeah.
and they and they liked it for phony reasons and they're just a bunch of jerks, I still wouldn't do that. I don't think I've ever written that kind of thing to anybody. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
How
I've
about
never.
you? Instead of posting a review for a movie and then telling people that your review was suppressed and whatever, and having a conversation, why don't you just go take your own life? Like, really? That's your takeaway from this,
Right.
you psycho.
Imagine being that obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all just dumb.
Yeah. It was nice to see some people that we know, Kaida, Jonas J. Campbell, Culture Casino, Grizzy. It was nice to see some comments from them and some quotes from them, which was cool. I did not see Elon in here. Sorry. Maybe he's under reposts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Elon. No, just Elon Rusk. Unfortunately, no Elon Musk. But anyway, yeah, it's amazing.
With 45,000 likes, I don't know if you can even tell if Elon Musk maybe liked it or not, but see if he's following you. Maybe.
I don't think he's following me. No. But yeah, this was wild. I was not expecting this to go viral quite like that. But yeah, it's not as if this isn't an experiment that someone else couldn't repeat, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I told some people in my reviews, like, hey, go try it yourself. See what happens.
Sure.
But for me, I posted one review that was not even all that negative, just kind of middling. And they won't post it. But yet I posted 2 fake glowing reviews on brand new accounts with no history and no previous reviews, and they made sure to make those public within hours, which is wild.
You
Yeah,
know,
I see you out there, Robot Head. Yes, I appreciate your reposts. Yeah, thanks.
hey, Robot Head, how's it going? I would send you an invite, Robot Head, but I feel like it's uh, I feel like it's gonna go into the dustbin of DMs, so I'll spare you the process. In any
Well,
case,
Robot Head, you just let us know in the chat if you want to come on. We've got an invite waiting for you, but
right,
we're not
exactly.
going to hound you.
No, we won't. We won't hound him. He is welcome, though, of course.
Obviously.
Usually, what I do is I send him while we're streaming, and I send him an invite, and then like a week later, he's like, "Oh, sorry, bro." So I guess that's how frequently Robot Head checks his DMs. In any case, what was I gonna say? There was something I wanted to show you though. If we're already talking about Rotten Tomatoes, because before all this like stuff that happened to you and then those other people that were showing the back end, there's been something that I've been claiming, and I think that even on our streams, I've said this a number of times. Let me show you something that until this day bothers me. Let's see if it's still okay. I'm going to show you something that's still an anomaly that nobody has been able to explain to me until this day. The Rise of Skywalker, when it came out, on the first day, it like within maybe the first hour that it allowed reviews, it had an 86 score from the popcorn meter. It had an 86 score when there was like 100, verified followers, whatever. It had an 86 when there were like 5,000. It had a 86 where there were 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, and 50,000. Now it's just like 50,000 plus. No matter what happened, the score was always 86. And for me, that seems like something that just isn't statistically possible. Sure, you could get very lucky and it'll always be 86, but sometimes we're on a stream and we do a poll like on TV shows Revisited, where we asked a bunch of people, what show do you want to watch next week. We do a poll. How many times have you seen that like it's all the same thing? It usually changes, you know what I mean? First it's like, there's one that has 30%, then it has 40%, then it has 30%, 35%, 32%. You see changes, you know what I mean? And we're just like I don't want to say nobody's, but you know what I mean? We're just like doing some poll online with some, with our community, which it's not nobody's, but we don't have 50,000 people, not yet at least. Maybe soon Istophobos can divert the 50,000 over to us, but at this moment in time, we don't have the 50,000, right?
No.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That there's no explanation as to why it was always 86, and nobody has ever even tried to like investigate or explain it or anything. This is, for me, this was like almost like I don't know if to say ground zero or whatever you want to call it, patient zero. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology here, but this is where it started. This is where I remember that something was very fishy with the score. Nobody could explain it, and they just kind of got away with it. And until today, years later, this thing has not moved. You want to tell me that everybody that watched The Rise of Skywalker and they brought a score, they get an 86 from this movie? Does that seem logical to you that this movie has an 86?
No.
Like honestly, I'm saying like 86 has to be a pretty darn good movie.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that The Rise of Skywalker is a good movie. There is just not enough people that will say that this is an 86. It also is the movie that performed the poorest performer out of the sequel trilogy. It was a movie that already after The Last Jedi chased a lot of people away. The people that gave it a chance were very disappointed with it. It didn't have a lot of repeat viewings. Over time, it's aged even worse, and you'd think that because it ages worse and people don't like it and it didn't leave the pop cultural footprint and it's a shitty movie, you'd think that this score would go down. But no, it was 86 from the first minute, and it's 86 now, and it'll always be 86. Unless Rotten Tomatoes are now like tracking you, Professor, and listening to this stream, and now they're like going to shift it. But unless they shift it, I'm
not
telling
a
you
chance.
from 2019 until now, it has been 86, which makes no sense. You know a little bit about numbers. You're more of a numbers savvy guy than me. Do you agree that this doesn't make a whole lot of sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's ridiculous that, I mean, and there's any number of different movies that you could look back at. That we could look at. Did you see, Robot Head says he's driving around, but if he makes it back in time, he's happy to hop in with us. So
I will send him an invite, and I'm sure that like when he runs out of toilet paper,
oh yeah,
that invite is going to come in handy. But 1 second, let me find him. I am sending him an invite. That's what's happening now.
Yeah, there's so much screwy stuff on Rotten Tomatoes. Literally, after this, right? Like, yeah, we see, there's some paid review stuff on there, whatever. Oh, review aggregate. I'm done with this. Aside from using it as a way to link to individual reviewers, it's since it does have that, where it's available there, where you can go out and find links to the reviewers for, for different journals, or not journals, but different journalistic, entities, websites and whatever. Even though I swear, when I look through there, man, I look through all of these different reviewers and I'm like, this is the movie reviewer from gotgoatmilk.com. Like, really? What? Like, what? How is that a verified movie reviewer? There's
right.
So many weird little, like, Feminist Journal of Architecture has their movie reviewer. It's like, what? I don't understand what you're talking about. Why is that a movie reviewer? Like, yeah, I get, you can get links out to, Chicago Times and, some of the others that are out there. Aside from that, this website, I'm done with it. This is an absolute joke of a website.
Wait. I have something to show you. Are you ready?
Yeah. Do it.
This is when it had 30,000. It had 86. How could it have 30,000, 86, go up to 50,000? And I am telling you, because I've been checking this for years, it never changed.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the critic score seems to be dropping, but the audience score, nothing. And the critics, there's like, just a few. I mean, I guess it would make sense because there's less critics than like verified reviewers, but verified audience or whatever it is. But come on, 20,000 people, and you think it doesn't move even 1% anywhere? They're all locked in at 86. 20,000 new people within the context of what we think of the Rise of Skywalker today and how poorly it's aged. They've all posted reviews, and their reviews have been 86, all of them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. Absolutely. It's mathematically, it's next to impossible that you would have that many reviews that would come in, and they're going to be in exactly the exact same proportion as all of the other reviews that have come in. It doesn't go up a little bit, doesn't go down a little bit. It just stays exactly there. And that's actually what's happening with, with the Odyssey too. Like, it's 96% or 97%, whatever. And it's just there and it stays there. Even though the number of reviews since the start of the weekend have doubled, even the verified numbers have doubled. Still the exact same percentages.
Now, look,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
This was documented by Forbes in one of their stupid articles. So it says at this point there's 93,000. So we saw 30,000 versus 90,000, still 86. Let me see. This is when it only had 6,000. Are you with me? When it had 6,000, it was 86. Nobody is saying anything. Why is this still going on? That for since 2019, there isn't one person except for me that has said like this is some kind of sham. And yeah, I mean, you did great now with this post with like the Odyssey exposing them. I guess I didn't have enough to work with when I was claiming it, but I really wish that like we could once and for all expose this thing. Like it annoys me. Maybe your next post you can show that this is like happening. Maybe somebody will listen to you. I don't know.
That one caught somebody's attention. I don't know how it managed to go quite so viral, except that it just seems like it's been part of the conversation over the last few days, how crooked things are on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I mean, again, try it yourself if you want, right? Go out there, try making some, use some dummy email account. You go out, post some reviews, see what happens. Yeah, it's it won't go through.
I feel like I used to have more
Or
screenshots of this and things like I used to document. I probably have somewhere like other images, but all I know is that statistically, from what I know, it doesn't make sense that so many people would be added, but the score would never. How can it be 86 with 6,000, 30,000, 90,000? Do you think that that makes sense, Professor?
no.
Like, what are the odds? What are the odds of that being like that it's always 86, that everybody thinks it's 86 and it's always 86 for Rise of Skywalker? What do you think?
I mean, what are the chances that it doesn't change after all of those?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to tell you, you know how
zero.
0, right?
What 0.026%? I don't know, but it's extremely
It's close to
unlikely,
0.
right? It's extremely unlikely that all of the new reviews that would come in would be in the exact same proportions as all of the other reviews, and that it would fall at exactly the same as 87%, 86%. Yeah.
Okay. Here's this. Somebody posted this at some point. Let me see for a second if I can zoom in here. It's not letting me. I don't know how to do it. I tried, but it somehow didn't work. I'm going to try one final thing. Cuz I think this will probably prove our point. Let's see if I can do this. Now I'm going to try it again. Stop screen share this. Okay, so can you see this?
Yes.
I'll do this and then I'll leave everybody alone because then, I don't want to drive everybody crazy. But it has been driving me crazy for years. 86% with 6,000 viewers. Then you have with 11,000 verified ratings, 86%. With 22,000, it's 86%. With 57,000, it's 86%. With 69,000, it's 86%. With 72,000, 86%. And 86,000 and 98,000, still 86%. I would dare say that there's about a 0.0000001% chance that this could happen. This is almost like winning the lottery. You know what I mean? Like the idea that this would always be 86 makes no sense. And that's what I have to say about it. Mark says I would 86 those reviews. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Isfo says that he thinks that they lock them at some point. Like they sort of like lock it in. But I don't know.
Mr. Phobos says it's almost like the same people that they use the same people to count the votes as LA does in the mayoral election.
No,
but he's right. It does feel like that.
No, if that were the case, then the reviews for the actual movie wouldn't be done until 3 weeks after the movie left theaters.
Right. That is true. So yeah, it's really, there's something very fishy and annoying about it, and I'm just happy that you were able to expose something now, because I just wasn't able to find, aside from me like whining to you, which I've been doing for years, I didn't have something like a smoking gun. And I feel like the reason why your tweet really took off is because you were able to present a smoking gun. I don't know, maybe you even inspired those other people to find like, the back end stuff that they were talking about, or it just happened, in correlation one with the other. But I think that over the past few days, I dare say on the internet, not just in our little circle here, between your post proving what Rotten Tomato is doing and that other post with the back end of how they're like aggregating the score in a fishy way, I think this really exposes once again how fishy Rotten Tomatoes is. Not that this is like breaking news for us. We know it. It's just like, but you were saying, Professor, that some more normies are just like, yeah, Rotten Tomatoes says it. Yeah, I'll go to this app. This app says Rotten Tomatoes. Sometimes you watch a trailer and they tell you what the percentage is on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll tell you the audience score.
Like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I absolutely am telling you that probably I haven't seen it, but I wonder if when like Rise of Skywalker, for example, came out, if you didn't see like once they knew that the critic score was crappy, sometimes they lean on the audience score. So like there may have been a commercial, like a TV spot where they're like 86 on fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. You know what I mean? Like they'll say stuff like that. And the other thing I'll tell you is that, and this is what nobody talks about. I don't know what's going on now because that company has changed hands and a lot of things have changed and things like that. But there was a while that there was a guy in charge, like the guy running Rotten Tomatoes, the executive. He used to be like in Disney, a person that had like a good rapport with Bob Iger. And it's just so strange that at the end, the guy, I'm not saying that Bob Iger would call the guy and ask them to make these changes to his site. I would never imagine that Bob Iger would do such a thing, but just very convenient that the guy that happened to be a former Disney high, like upper level exec, ends up running this thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely, yeah. I know what you're
I
trying to
would
say.
never think that like Bob Iger would call him, and allegedly call him and tell him, "Hey, can you make it seem like there's 86%?" Because that would really be accusing Bob Iger of something, and that's not something we do here at Price of Reason Studios, where we speculate on things and don't know what we're talking about. So if you're sitting at home and thinking that Bob Iger called the executive at Rotten Tomatoes and had them make an 86% score on Rotten Tomatoes for Rise of Skywalker, I think you should be very careful with your thoughts. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Because there's no evidence of that. We don't have any proof of that. So even thinking such a thing is probably not the right direction. I think I got out of it. That was a
Yeah,
good explanation, right?
yeah, yeah.
Here at Price of Reason Studios, we somebody says coming soon, Avengers MCU's Doomsday.
Oh
Uh,
boy, yeah, we will talk about Doomsday here in just a little bit. What else did we I mean, obviously there's been a huge huge weekend for for this film. It definitely did have a solid weekend. Of course, I don't think anybody in our sphere or anyone who's a serious movie critic, reviewer, actually said that this would have a bad weekend, that it was going to fail this weekend. I think it was always obvious it was going to have a really strong first weekend because we had movie ticket sales from a year ago, right? There were
right.
huge pre-sale numbers. So yeah, this first weekend was always going to be big.
And I said, and I again, we don't know where it's going to go. My predictions were 600 to 700 million dollars worldwide box office. I think that that's a solid prediction. It could be, who knows? It could be more. I don't tend to think it'll do better than Oppenheimer. I don't think it'll cross the billion. I don't know 100% with these things. I will say that the media is really, really lobbying for this thing to be, undeniable success beyond the opening weekend. Obviously, Christopher Nolan's name was enough to give this thing a high profile feel and event movie thing, and start amazing with the opening weekend.
Mhm.
I think that the question is what's going to happen in weekend 2 or 3, in spite of like the papers now, the media, those kind of trades trying to hype up the fact that a lot of people are still buying tickets like a month in advance for the 70 millimeter screenings. Keep in mind that there's only 20 screenings like that. That's not
Yeah.
a thing that's not going to make or break the box office. The question is, if we go to these sites now, like right now, if you go and you check, and I could be wrong, maybe it's all full. If you check on one of those kind of Fandango or whatever now, how many like does it look like for this weekend? It's all packed. Like, what does it look like?
No, I don't think so. So those 70 millimeter theaters, yes, they do have a lot of.
Packed, yes.
They're pretty packed. They're sold out, and they're sold out for a while, and that's not surprising. But we're only talking about a handful of showings every day in those theaters. And in fact, if you look at the breakdown of the numbers, I was looking at a couple of different breakdowns where they were actually looking at like what was the breakdown, how much did each different theater, different theaters contribute to the overall amount. Those handful of 70 millimeter screens were like 3% of the box office, right? Even if they're packed. every single showing, it's just a handful of theaters. And those tickets don't cost $200, right? It's not like they're making way more money in those showings than they are in any other IMAX theaters. And if you look at the other IMAX theaters, the LIMAX, AMC IMAX theaters, whatever, you look at those are not packed. Some of them weren't even packed this weekend.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, and now there's also a bunch of people saying that they've been to theaters where they were forced to choose really crappy seats, and when they got into the theaters, there were dozens upon dozens of seats wide open, no one sitting in them, even though they looked sold out when they went to go buy those tickets. And so a lot of people are now saying, okay, is this a Captain Marvel situation again, where the studio is desperate to make sure that this still gets big numbers, and so they're buying tickets to make it look like theaters are sold out?
I'm trying to check now to see, as we're talking, I'm trying to see different theaters in the tri-state area. I myself, I live in New Jersey, but I'm curious as to New York City, how it's going there. Some of these theaters have a lot of showings. I'm checking like Saturday at 7 p.m. Let's see. This is something. I'll show you something. Are you ready, Professor?
Yeah.
This is like this Saturday on at 7 p.m. on the Upper East Side, and it's not an IMAX. And the reason why I didn't choose an IMAX, because sure, you have some IMAX theaters. Usually the IMAX, especially within New York City, like wherever you have IMAX, those especially and the ones that are more like in Midtown, those are getting more booked up from what I can tell. But if you're just checking like an average evening screening, it's not like there's some people here. It's not empty, but it's also not like it's you can't get a ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So we have that. Let me see if I can it's trying to do okay. Let's see if they have IMAX.
My local AMC IMAX pre-sold tickets for next Saturday's 6 p.m. showing. I see approximately 23 tickets out of a whole, thing. So less than a tenth of all the tickets. 10 p.m. showing next Saturday. 8 tickets. 8 tickets sold. What about the matinees during the day? Let's see, the 2:00 matinee pre-sold for next Saturday. 9 tickets.
I'm trying to look for a second. When it's IMAX, I think that at
the
least
10 a.m. IMAX has 3 tickets sold.
Let's see for a second. So let's put it this way. From what I can tell, when people are looking at ones that are regular screenings, it's not filled. There's still a way to get tickets. But
Absolutely.
when you look at more the IMAX, and especially in a place like New York that there aren't a million of them, those seem to be filling up. So I would say that this upcoming weekend is probably going to have a strong IMAX weekend. I don't know what that looks like with numbers. I think that the IMAX is going to be strong. Regular moviegoers in theaters, I don't know. But it could have a decent second weekend. I mean, I don't know.
Could. And here's the real fact is that it has to have a really strong second weekend if it's going to come anywhere near what it needs to make so that it can make its budget back, because they spent an enormous amount of money on this. And we talked about this. We talked about this the other day, and I had a post on X about this as well. They spent an enormous amount. 250 is what they've reported. It's Hollywood accounting. They spent more than that on this movie. They also spent at least 125, although I would bet it's closer to 200 million on marketing.
I agree with you. This
movie,
example,
yeah, go ahead.
This is 70 millimeters. So 70 millimeters, even that you can find a few seats, but I guess 70 millimeter IMAX is like a big deal. But sorry, go on.
Well, that's what they've tried to sell people, is that you're only seeing the movie that he made if you see it in 70 millimeter IMAX, which, I mean, 70 millimeter IMAX is cool. The 70 millimeter theaters are the ones with the true, like, full size, like 6-story tall IMAX screens, those kinds of things, right? Those are the really enormous screens with and they are projecting them from film. That's cool. Hey, if I had one nearby, that's what I would have gone to see. But the closest one for me is like 8 hours away, so I'm not gonna bother. But the truth is, if you're seeing it in a regular IMAX screen, the way that the proportions work, you're missing less than 10% of the picture, right? If you're seeing it on an actual IMAX or one of the LIMAX screens that can show it in the tall, the taller format, not a standard CinemaScope or a 16:9. It's the tall, basically about a 4:3 picture. From 70 millimeter to that digitally, I've seen it's less. It's not even 10% of the picture. It's like 4% of the picture, I think.
Notice how ones that are not IMAX, that are just regular, they seem pretty like empty.
Pretty open, yeah.
Pretty open. I'm not saying maybe those will fill up, but from what I can tell, let's see, in Harlem at Magic Johnson Theaters, let's see what it looks like for Saturday. This is like a regular one. It's not an IMAX. Almost completely empty. So it doesn't mean that people can't show up late in the game and do all this kind of stuff. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think that the IMAX is the main thing that's going to be driving the sales, especially over this upcoming weekend. This is one Saturday, 9 p.m., wherever this is. Nobody's booked this.
Yeah.
Like, it almost feels like nobody cares about the standard screenings.
Well, and that's the marketing. They've done this. They've done this to themselves. They have essentially told the customer that they are getting robbed. They are getting cheated of seeing this movie if they don't see it in IMAX, especially if they don't see it in 70 millimeter IMAX, which is the way it was shot, whatever. So there are people that are saying, well, if I can't get to an IMAX, I'm not gonna bother. And
right.
that is a real problem. But yeah, no, this movie, it absolutely has to make a very serious run in its second weekend, because of course, in only 4 days' time after this next weekend's run, you have Spider-Man, which is going to be an absolute steamroller. Nothing else, not even this movie, are going to continue to perform once Spider-Man hits. It is going to suck all of the air out of the room. It is going to suck up all the tickets. Nobody is going to go see this 3-hour snore fest instead of seeing Spider-Man that weekend. And the same is going to go for the weekends after that. So yes, this movie did have a really solid first weekend, no question. Now, have other movies had better first weekends? Absolutely. There are many films that have had better first weekends than this. And there are films that have had better first weekends than this that didn't break $1 billion. For instance, was it Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That had a nearly $500 million opening weekend. It was like 440, 450 opening weekend. And it still didn't cross $1 billion.
I think that after I've gone, I don't know if you've been looking, but after I've gone through so many of them now, it's the same picture over and over again. 70 millimeter, which are, there aren't many of those, but even throughout the whole nation, if there's a 70 millimeter, that thing is booked. If there's a regular IMAX, some of those have some booking. I think that you could still get tickets for it, but the regular IMAX over the upcoming weekend seems to be something that's really drawing people. Now, if you click on anything standard, anything that's not like a special 70 millimeter, which is very rare, or the regular IMAX, most of them look like this theater. It doesn't mean that over the weekend maybe a few people will show up and want to see it, but it's like you said, Professor, because of the marketing that they keep pushing this idea that if you don't see it on the best possible screen, you're not seeing it properly. I wonder if at the end this is going to be to their benefit or not. Also, when Spider-Man comes out, doesn't some of the IMAX screen have to show Spider-Man, or it doesn't work that way?
So IMAX still has this movie locked up. Or this movie still has IMAX locked up. I said that backwards.
For how long?
I think 2 more weekends. after Spider-Man comes up. So it has this weekend, it has next weekend, it has the following week, and it has the following week after that. That's my understanding. It has a month, basically, I think, of IMAX locked up. Now, that doesn't mean that individual exhibitors could decide to change it, but it doesn't have all of the premium format screens locked up. Right. So there are many premium format screens that will switch over for Spider-Man. But the official IMAX screens, those are locked up for the Odyssey for, I think, another 3 weeks.
I'm actually surprised that they allowed this thing to go so soon before Spider-Man, because that's really going to be a weird clash of movies. But I also want to say thank you to Rumble. I feel like perhaps they've recommended.
Yeah, looks like we're getting featured or front paged over on Rumble, so that's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you. We love Rumble. Cool. It's a great platform. If you're watching through an app and you're watching this stream through Rumble, the app, but you haven't yet signed up for Rumble, you should do that now, because you could do it for free. There's the free account, which is great, and there's also the premium, and then you don't have the ads and all that other good stuff. So you should definitely do that. Sign up, and then you could also follow us, and then you'll always know when we're streaming or when other people are streaming. So it's a win-win for everybody, and you should definitely do that. And we were always thankful of the support we get on Rumble. That's kind of like our headquarters for this show, because Rumble is a platform that believes in free speech. And as people that have been, even today, Professor is giving you this example of him posting a review that nobody wanted to see or hear on Rotten Tomatoes. It's important to have outlets like Rumble, where we could say whatever we want, and we're not worried that somebody here is going to say, "Oh well, they said they didn't like this movie. We got to make them go away." So we always we enjoy what they do here on this platform. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Anyhow,
what was I saying? Oh yeah, somebody was asking in the chat what Spider-Man is tracking for. The latest tracking that I saw was somewhere between 212 and 228 million domestic. So just as a comparison, everyone is screaming about how incredible this weekend is for the Odyssey. It made 125 domestic this weekend. They are tracking for a 225, potentially 228 plus weekend
I feel
for Spider-Man domestic alone. That means international. Spider-Man has performed really well internationally, even though the MCU films have been, trailing off. The other international markets don't seem as interested in them anymore. But Spider-Man, this is going to be a huge one internationally as well. We're probably talking a 400 million.
I was going to say the same thing that you just said. In terms of like 400 to 500 million opening weekend is on the table for Spider-Man. I honestly can see it doing that.
And again, that just means it is going to vacuum up everyone's money. It's going to vacuum up all the seats, all the tickets. The only people who are going to be going to see the Odyssey are the ones that are saying, "Oh, I finally get to have a 70 millimeter IMAX ticket." That's the only. And again, that's 3% of the total market. For these films. So yeah, it's that's going to be. I mean, it's going to be the end of its dominance in the box office once Spider-Man comes about. And if Spider-Man gets really good word of mouth, I would say word of mouth for Odyssey is at best mixed. If people come out of Spider-Man saying that is the best MCU movie I've seen in 6 years, it is going to have tons of people swarming to the theaters to see it.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to give one one moment of thought to them going to see the Odyssey. So if this movie,
the Odyssey will fade out very quickly.
Yes, yeah. If it doesn't make its money in its first 2 weeks, it's not going to make that money. So yes, it's going to stay in theaters for a while. I'm sure it's still going to have people going to see it for a while, especially those people who are slowly filtering in to finally get those 70 millimeter IMAX tickets. But that's not going to be pumping a lot of money into this film, especially after a few weeks. If they've lost the IMAX screens. Exclusivity on the IMAX screens. Now, if the IMAX screens are still performing well, exhibitors will keep it. The theaters will keep it in the IMAX screens. But if people are really pouring in to a lot of the premium format screens to see Spider-Man and then IMAX, we've got the opportunity to put it in our biggest premium format screen. The theaters are going to do it. Right, they're going to put it there and be like, "Hey, catch it in IMAX, catch it in Infinity Vision."
I'm trying to think for a second. How are other movies now doing on, when it comes to? Let's see. We have the Odyssey was doing well. Can you see this screen?
Yeah.
So we have the Odyssey that was doing, Moana. That one's not doing well at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's 0.7 times its production budget. It's not going to break even.
That number, I can hardly even believe it's that low. I mean, that's stunningly bad for this film. I mean, this is a kids movie. This is the kind of thing that you expect to really, really perform in the theaters during the summer. Are these light kids movies, that people want to go out and see?
Yeah,
they want to take their kids to the theater
something you
when
bring
it's
the
hot.
children, whatever. Yeah, it's the. Yeah, what this movie shows that there's two things going on. I think people don't have patience for these Disney live action remakes anymore, and sadly, I think also The Rock, you know, there were a number of years where you just add The Rock to a movie and it already guarantees at least some tickets being sold, even though many times he played the same role and did the exact same thing. In this case, it just wasn't working. You know what I mean? And I think that listen, he's had a nice run. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. Even somebody like Stallone, there were decades where he was doing great, and then there was like a little bit of a dip. You'd already seen him in so many action movies, you'd seen him in so many movies, and suddenly there was a bit of a dip. Happened to other great actors. You know what I mean? In The Rock's case, I don't even know if I consider him a great actor. He's a likable, charismatic guy, but I mean, he's not. It's not necessarily that every movie he really wows you. He just does whatever he does.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my personal opinion. I don't dislike the guy, but I'm just saying, it's I think that the days of saying, okay, well, we put The Rock in it and we're doing a live action remake, that's not a business plan anymore. You know what I mean? That's not a viable business plan. That alone isn't going to bring people into the theater, and nobody cares. And there's also something, that I would say is called overexposed. You know what I mean? And some of those other actors had that, regardless of skill or not skill. I think that when you keep seeing The Rock over and over and over and over again in so many movies doing the exact same thing, at the end, people are just like, all right, well, whatever. Some people manage to get away with it. For example, Jason Statham may have had some ups and downs, but somehow at the end he established that he just is Jason Statham in every movie, doing whatever Jason Statham does. You don't even remember the names of the movies.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you're watching, there's a bunch of Jackie Chan movies I've seen, and I don't remember the names of them. He's Jackie Chan in them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Jackie Chan Yeah.
Right. Jason Statham has created sort of a genre that you go to see the movie. It's a Jason Statham movie. You realize that he's doing a similar thing, but somehow I don't know why it hasn't outstayed its welcome. Whereas with The Rock, maybe because Jason Statham is more like, he doesn't say a lot. He just goes and kicks some butt and everybody's happy. With The Rock, he always has to have all this kind of there's more dialogue. You know what I mean? There's more charm and dialogue, and he has to be a swell guy. You know what I'm trying to say?
Sure, yeah.
It's not, if the movies were every time you see The Rock, he's just angry and beating people up, you may be able to get away with it. But he already built this thing of this. He's more of you know what I'm trying to say. He smiles a lot and he has this charm and he's whatever. It doesn't fit that mold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember that he had a movie with Jason Statham that Hobbs and Shaw movie.
Yes, Hobbs is yes. Yeah, it was
Weren't they
it was
supposed to
it was
make
like a spin-off from the from the Fast and Furious movies or
Right.
something.
And it made money, and you know why it did well? Because at that time, The Rock was still, like, pulling, his weight sort of, and they teamed it up with Jason Statham, who was doing whatever Jason Statham does, so Rock and Jason Statham in a movie kind of worked for some reason. It's a very dumb movie. It's absolutely preposterous and ridiculous, like all those later, Fast and Furious movies, but it was watchable. I think I saw it on a plane or something, but I didn't hate it on the plane. That makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
In any case, so we have that, and then
there's Moana. Someone in the chat mentioned that they said Mandalorian and Grogu still hanging in there. So Mandalorian and Grogu at this point. Well, I'll just mention what you got the Minions and Monsters, but Mandalorian at this point has hit a worldwide box office of $344 million. They really, really wanted to keep this out there in the box office until it could break Solo. They did not want it to be the lowest earning. They wanted it to stay out there until it could get more money than Solo. Unfortunately, they're still 50 million behind, and there's not a chance in hell they're going to make it. No. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe this hit premium video on demand this week.
Yeah, no, they're not going to be able to beat Solo.
And they also, did you see? Well, we can come back to Mando. Talk about monsters for Minions.
I think the 300 to 400. I don't know. Well, maybe I said 400 to 500 or 300 to 400. This was kind of up the alley of what we thought of Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think anybody thought it would break the $500 million. I think that everybody was kind of. It landed pretty much where I think we all thought it would. So that one wasn't a surprise. Minions and Monsters, the one thing that it has going for it is the production budget was only $85 million. So technically, even though you'd think that this would have been a bigger box office draw, it still didn't lose money for them. Although maybe it signals that they've made maybe too many of these movies, because I don't know. I mean, you'd think, I'm really surprised this didn't do better than it did, actually.
Yeah, I think it had some heavy competition.
True,
but yeah, it's wild.
The only thing I can say about it is that at least they didn't. This is still a profitable movie. It says right here the production budget $85 million, worldwide box office is 4.2 times its production budget. So they're not they're not losing sleep over at Illumination or whatever it is. They're not losing sleep over this. They may privately and behind closed doors be disappointed that this wasn't a bigger win for them, but between adding it to the collection of the Despicable Me movies, adding it to collections later on, putting it on streaming for kids and things like that, and even pay-per-view, they're going to manage to scrape some extra money for it, and maybe over the years sure. it'll still be considered a valuable asset for them. But I will say that overall, I would think that this is something. How much of the previous installments?
What was the budget for it? It was
$85 million.
85. I mean, they've made their money back,
right? Yeah, but the question is the previous ones. What was another ones? What was the previous Minions movie?
Rise of Gru.
What'd you say?
Rise of Gru.
Rise of Gru. Okay. So look, this one.
Yeah.
This one had $100 million budget, and the worldwide box office is 9.4 times the production budget. Very interesting. Why do you think that one did well and this one didn't?
Honestly, I really couldn't tell you. I didn't think it was as good a film. I mean, it was. I do think it probably had a little bit more interest from the average viewer, because this Minions movie did have Gru in it from the original Despicable Me films.
I see. And Steve Carell is there as Gru. Yeah. So between Gru and the Minions, that was almost like a Despicable Me movie.
It was more of a Despicable Me movie than just Minions. Yeah.
What movie did they have in the series before this?
I think it was just Minions 2.
Minions 2.
No,
I can't even find.
Or it's just look up Minions. Yeah,
Minions.
Oh, there's franchise. You can click on the franchise there. It'll show you all of them.
Okay, good.
There you go.
So you have
Yeah, just
Minions.
Minions 2, Rise of Gru was the second one. Yeah, so the first one made huge money. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. You listen, the first one they invested 74 million. They made 15.6 times the production budget. And then the second one is they have the Rise of Gru. We saw that, and yeah, that was good. Minions and More Volume 1 and 2, I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, I think those were just straight to.
there's no doubt about it that
DVD.
this thing is like, they didn't lose money on it, but they're
No.
probably sitting around having meetings about this to try to understand why this didn't make them something like $1 billion, which I assume is what they expected. Do you think that people are just tired of the brand of the thing? Have they just overstayed their welcome, or made too many of these, or has there been a generation that's just like kind of over it? What do you think?
Man, I couldn't tell you. It's possible, yeah, that this has just run its course, right? We can actually look at the here. I can share this more than just the Minions series, right? Because you have the Despicable Me series as well.
Right.
Oh, you'll have to switch to my screen real quick. So
There
yeah,
we go.
you've got obviously the most recent was Minions and Monsters. Despicable Me 4, which was the most recent release before that, still made, close to $1 billion, right? In fact, it made a little bit more than the last Minions film. Right? This
Right.
is previously the first Despicable Me was a surprise hit. It did really well, even at, we're not talking about billions here, but it did really well as it was a brand new IP back in 2010, right? But
Absolutely.
Despicable Me 2 and the follow-ups to that have all really banked. They've done some serious money in this one, yeah. And the funny thing, like I said, I aside from the fact it didn't really have a very solid story, it was kind of a bunch of little bits and pieces sort of stuck together, but I actually thought it was fairly funny, and it had a solid message, and it was I didn't think it was any worse than any of the previous Despicable Me films at the
Mark,
very
you would
least,
assume
right?
that Toy Story 5 took it out?
It's possible, yeah. Toy Story 5, has done some really good
How much
good money.
did Toy Story 5 do? Oh, wait, let me check.
Yeah, check.
Wait a second. Somebody else wrote something interesting, and I'm trying to find it now. That the kids outgrew it or something like that. It's possible.
Trev Tunart is
The joke is played out, but also the kids are growing up and out of it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Let's see for a second. So what were we talking about? Let's see if we can
Toy
go
Story
back.
5, yeah.
Let's see if we can go back to the original list, because Toy Story 5 is here. Toy Story 5, $959 million. Again, Disney spends so much on their movies that it only made 3.8 times its production budget.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 250. We're talking about Rise of Gru was made for less than 100 million. This one, they spent 250. Unbelievable. Same amount that was spent on not Oppenheimer. Same amount that was spent on the Odyssey. Like, that's insane. Budget for a kids movie for $250 million.
Crazy.
Yeah, and here's if you're just curious, the overall, all the Toy Story films, right? The 3 and 4, broke the billion. Toy Story 5, obviously it's got a little bit more time in the theater, probably will break $1 billion. Lightyear, however, was a massive flop for them. But yeah, this $250 million production budget, that is astounding.
They've always been too expensive. If you look at some
yeah.
of those
I mean, 3
ones.
and 4 both $200 million for those movies, and yeah, that's
Look at Lightyear though. Lightyear, they thought that would be a big deal.
200. Oh boy, yeah, that was a huge flop.
They deserved it. That was a well-deserved
They did
flop.
that. Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's funny how all those times, like Bob Iger would be like, "Oh, the box office after the coup, it's not what it is." Obviously, when they do something that still resonates with people, even though I didn't watch this Toy Story 5, you did, I didn't watch it, but even as mid as you described it, there's almost $1 billion. Maybe by the end of its run, it actually gets $1 billion.
Yeah,
so,
I think it probably will. I mean, it's got a couple of weeks. Although, again, Spider-Man probably going to eat everyone's lunch. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. But yeah, it's
Evil Dead Burn. I didn't watch it.
Oh, that I have heard is terrible.
I see.
It's a horror film, and obviously horror's been doing really well this summer. I don't think that this is one that's going to perform well. I've heard it's really, really weak. Not one I'm going to bother taking time to see, but yeah, I've heard it is not solid. It's actually pretty weak as a film.
Yeah, I see what you mean. What was I going to say?
Its saving grace will be that once again, it's a moderate budget. It's $20 million. Right.
Right. It already made back.
Films.
It didn't lose money. It already did 2.5
Yeah.
or 2.6. It'll probably end up doing something where it didn't lose money. Maybe you add it to streaming and collections and things like that. They didn't spend a lot of money on it, and the idea is that they're probably not going to lose money, but I don't think this is a huge money maker either. Young Washington. Are you there, Professor?
Yeah.
Young Washington has made 2.1 times its production budget. I actually hope that more people will watch it, whether they're not releasing it international. It's very difficult to do a movie like this and not to release it internationally. I don't know what, I mean, I guess maybe they think people don't care about the United States or George Washington, but you know what? I didn't hate this movie. I thought that for the budget that they had, which was $20 million, I thought they did a really decent job. And I kind of, when I see a movie like this, I kind of hope that it does better. Like, I would have at least wanted them to break even, if nothing else. Maybe they will by the end of their run. I'm really sort of rooting for them to at least break even. Because historical movies that take, like, a guy like George Washington and don't just say, like, oh, he's, like, the biggest bum or anything like that, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not going to say that this is the best biopic or epic movie or anything ever made, but I will say that for $20 million, it's one of the better ones I've seen, maybe in a long while or maybe even ever. You know what I mean? Like, really difficult to make a decent movie like this for $20 million. And you could tell how hard to me, in my opinion, you could tell the real work was put into the production, because when you don't have that kind of budget, you have to really think creatively of how to, make this look cool, even if you don't have the means to quite do it. So yeah, I hope that more people see it. That's all I can say.
Yep.
It's difficult also for this, like with the Odyssey and all that stuff. It had a pretty solid opening. When did it start? It started like July 3rd, July 9th international. It says, I mean, this doesn't
internationally,
seem like,
this was never going to be a big performer, obviously, but
no, but I hope guess so. I don't know why not? Why, people should go see it, at least in the US. I hope that it could reach like 50 million. If it reaches 50 million and then it turns like into the 2.5 times the production budget, I think that later on in, like, streaming and pay-per-view, considering the relatively low budget, it'll be profitable and maybe encourage people to make more movies like this. That's my opinion, at least. Obsession. Let's see what's going on with that. Well, this one, I don't know how much more gas it has in the tank, but I will say that they're saying the production budget is $1 million. I think it was actually $750,000, but even so, even if we say it's $1 million, this is $442 million. This is just amazing. It made 440 to 2.5 times its production budget. Are you with me, Professor?
Yeah.
That's what you want. If you make a movie, that's what you want.
Absolutely.
That's like the kind of figure you want.
That is the kind of payout that any investor wants, right?
Right. This is like magnificent.
A lot of investors will say they're not in for anything that's not going to give them at least 10x. 442x. Your investment. I mean, come on. Yeah,
there are some people
there are some
somewhere.
people, very, very happy people who invested in making this
I'll
picture.
tell you what they're
Yes.
doing now. They're sitting like on a private plane with a bunch of models that they've flown in from somewhere, and probably like the private plane is like a huge party with like and they're flying to, where do people, San Tropez? Where do Snoop, people go to party or whatever? Ibiza, where they're probably flying somewhere on the private plane. There's probably a lot of recreational activities happening there with like businessmen and a bunch of like models. That's what I'm envisioning. I don't know. And they're having like the time of their life, whoever invested in this movie. Like
Yeah.
if I would have known, like we should have like all like gotten together and like given him the $1 million somehow. We would have been like the richest people ever now.
Yep.
So in any case,
Tomahawk 511 obsession was creepy. Yes, it was very creepy. And it accomplished its mission. It made an interesting, very disturbing horror film. And it worked. It's earned every dime, every ticket it sold. It earned.
by the way, if you're watching this stream and you want to do something nice for us, if you're in the chat and you're lurking but you haven't dropped a comment, you should drop a comment in the chat because that always helps us.
Always nice.
That's like a great thing. So we highly recommend the dropping.
And we do have a couple people who have dropped us some super chats. One of them an hour ago, so we should probably get.
I'm
to
so
those.
sorry, man. How did we?
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so sorry to whoever did that.
We got you, dead man. We're not leaving you. We're not leaving you hanging. It was just a funny chat. It wasn't anything.
Okay,
serious.
so I'm gonna highlight these things now. Just give me a second. I'll find them, and then putting them here now, and I'm gonna share it. Stop sharing screen. I'm gonna share the other screen. So we have the dead man who wrote, "What's the problem?" Which is the oh, you have the bit.
What's the problem?
That is from before Michael Jackson was trendy again with that biopic. We actually used to say that. I think it all started because we were on a stream somewhere and somebody said that it's not what's the problem. They said it was a different sentence. What's the matter?
Yeah.
And I said, no, it's not what's the matter. It's what's the problem. And I was very very nitpicky about it, and it ended up being what's the problem. That really is what Michael Jackson says in the Thriller video.
Absolutely. Yeah. He comes, it's when she's freaking out at the end of Thriller and he reaches, you see a hand reach to touch her shoulder and she sort of wakes up from her little daydream, her little nightmare, and she's freaked out. And he says,
Problem.
What's the problem? So yeah, that's good stuff. And then let me see for a second what else. Okay, so we got what's the problem. Then we have Jason Webster. Breaking news: The Rock, Pedro Pascal, Rachel Zegler, and Zendaya found guilty of indecent overexposure on movie screens. You know what? You're right. But I will say this: I will still separate them into two groups of overexposed people. You have The Rock and Zendaya, which I don't think that they go out of their way to like annoy me. You know what I mean?
"Oh
They're
yeah,
just,
yeah."
They're doing whatever they do, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If I'm The Rock, and there's like a 10-year period where every studio is telling me take $20 million a movie, just do the same thing over and over again, I'm collecting those checks. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a hater for like thinking that he went and collected all those checks. In his shoes, I would do the exact same thing. Heck, I don't even need the 100 movies that he made in this time frame. I could just use one and retire. You know what I mean? I'll do one The Rock movie. I'll go over and say like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, and show my muscle, which I don't have, but I have to get a muscle for the movie, and then I'll just like I'll take the $20 million and run. And Same with Zendaya. Zendaya, I don't have anything against her. She hasn't, at least to date, when they interview her, she doesn't sit and do all this kind of woe is me and do all this thing that she's blaming people or saying all this like wacky shit. She's always just like kind of nice and says thank you, and she shows up and she smiles and says thank you and nice and whatever. She's not going to like, it doesn't look like she's going out of her way to piss people off. At the end of the day, uh, we all know that she has a sort of limited acting range, and that she fits a lot of like check boxes that they want to tick off, including social media, including like, sort of a mixed ethnicity that sort of appeals to a bunch of different demographics or whatever it is. Sure, she has all that, but she's not mean spirited about it.
No,
I don't
no.
hate her. I don't hate her for taking the roles.
No, and that's and as you said, we can really divide this into two different groups, right? You've got The Rock, who has always been very complimentary, very kind to his fans. Can he be a little full of himself? Yes, but that's actors, right? That's performers, whatever. You've got Zendaya, who, for all the complaining that I do about, them putting her up there thinking she's the most beautiful creature on earth, when, I mean, she looks fine. She's attractive. I don't think she's the most gorgeous thing in the world, but she's attractive.
She has a cute girl next door.
Exactly. Kind of yeah. But she's, when it comes to her acting, I think she's kind of a plank. I think she plays Zendaya everywhere she goes. But I will give her full credit. She has never come out and attacked the fans. Right? She doesn't come out and say nasty thing about the fans. She doesn't come out and, oh, they're so awful and they're racists and all this stuff. She has not done any of that. She's never been drawn into that. And I have to give her full credit for that. And for that reason, I mean, I'm not going to be someone who's like, I'm never seeing a movie with Zendaya. Like, it's fine. Like, I think she's overexposed, but yeah, she is not by any means in the same category with a Pedro Pascal or a Rachel Zegler, where they have gone out of their way to put politics first, activism first, to get in people's faces, to tell them, don't follow me anymore if you don't like my politics, or, don't see my movie if you don't like me, whatever. Like, these are people who have spent their time, their effort, their energies to attack the audience, to attack the fans and tell them that, that they're better than them. And I'm just, no, I don't want to see movies with them anymore. And
Right.
yeah, it's two totally different categories. But
by
yeah,
the way-
they definitely, all four of them, very much overexposed.
No,
Jason Webster, we appreciate that.
No, we agree, Jason Webster. They are overexposed. I'm just saying that at least two of them are well behaved and overexposed. The other two are super annoying. Pedro Pascal likes to lecture you about politics. Same with Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler is probably the worst out of the four. She's been in less movies than all of these people. You think she's overexposed just because even the few that she was in, you feel like you've seen too much of her in the press and heard too much from her. That's how annoying she is. So she's a little different than the other ones. Pedro Pascal, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Pedro Pascal, early on in his career, can boast at least a few roles that I think he did decently. I think he was okay on Game of Thrones for whatever role. It's an ensemble cast. He had a supporting role in like one season. It was fine. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was fine on there. Maybe his finest hour, Pedro Pascal, was perhaps on Narcos as like the police officer or whatever it is. That was probably one of his best roles. I didn't know who he was at the time, so he didn't like feel overexposed to me. So you're just kind of getting to know him. B, the role was sort of like he's sort of this subdued, kind of moody cop. And you know what? He's fine as the subdued moody cop. The second you need a little more charisma, like, and charm, and like dominating the screen with your presence, I don't think he really does that. Also, there were a lot of criminals that they were like a lot more spicy and interesting than him, but he's the guy trying to sort of capture them. So I think that in that sense, Pedro Pascal was fine, in Narcos, but those were two roles that understood what his strengths and weaknesses were, versus later, where every single thing they put him in and made it seem like he's like the best thing that ever happened. And I'm not saying that. It's not because of DEI or any of that I'm commenting on this. I just don't think, I think he's a stronger supporting actor in certain roles. I don't think he's this kind of one-size-fits-all actor. They tried to make it seem like he's like Daniel Day-Lewis or like Christian Bale or whatever. He's not that good. You know what I mean? Like, let's not get carried away here.
Yeah.
And usually, like for stuff like like a comic book movie, I've always noticed that for comic book movie, the best combination you can get is like, okay, I'm going to say something that may be controversial, but in comic book movies, you need either one thing or the other or both, and the best that we get is if it has both. You either have an actor that like or actress that look good and feel like bring this kind of cool vibe to the role. Like you like seeing them in the role and they're cool and they bring like some good energy that you like. That's one thing that's very, very important. The other thing that's important is that they're a good actor. Now, in some cases, like you can get over the fact that maybe they're not the best actor or actresses if they at least look the part and are cool and have a cool vibe. That person can get away with a lot more than somebody who was maybe a good actor but didn't have that quality. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Absolutely.
I'll give you an example. Gal Gadot versus Brie Larson. Now, Brie Larson, if I was doing now like a stage play of some like who's afraid of her Virginia Woolf or some shit like that, okay? I
Mm-hmm.
can easily call like Brie Larson to play a role in that play. I'm sure she's going to be fine, more than fine. I'm sure she's going to be like very, very solid. You know what I mean in that role. Versus if I'm doing who was afraid of Virginia Woolf and I call Gal Gadot, I don't know that she's necessarily going to bring the right acting skills to that role. You know what I mean? Are you with me, Professor?
Yeah, absolutely, Bryce.
So I'm saying that in a play like that, you need the acting skill. But when it comes to superhero, it's the opposite. First of all, you need the likability and charm, which like Gal Gadot has, and Brie Larson doesn't have. Like that's stronger currency in a role like that. That's why over the years when we grew up and we had like what's that thing called Flash Gordon. You know what I mean? Like we've seen enough movies where maybe like the actor Jean-Claude Van Damme in his whole career. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
you don't. Sometimes if there's a guy that brings this kind of cool vibe and it's fine for the role and there's some action or whatever, you're willing to let a lot of things slide. You know?
Oh yeah,
I,
you cannot with a straight face say that any Jean-Claude Van Damme movie is one of the greatest of all time. But
No.
there are definitely a few where you can say, you know what, I'm willing to let it slide. I'm willing to be okay with the rather mediocre performance of Jean-Claude Van Damme because I really enjoyed Death Sport. Or so, you know what I mean? Like something like that, right?
Right. So exactly. Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yeah, that's
But yeah,
Bloodsport.
no, but yeah, I understand exactly what you mean. Nobody considers him a great actor or his movies the greatest of all time. But actually, in Bloodsport, I don't need to see a different actor in that. I think that it's very much like Jean-Claude Van Damme's role. I don't need him recast in Bloodsport. He's fine in that, you know. So what I'm saying is, in comic book movies, you kind of need that actor or actress with that kind of like on-screen personality and charm and action and whatever. So the best thing you can do is have that and also be a good actor. Like, for example, Robert Downey Jr., especially if you think of the first Iron Man, he had both. He's a really good actor, but he also has the cool vibe and brought this kind of cool screen presence. I think that based on Robert Downey Jr.'s and Iron Man and the fact that he was a good actor and cool, they that was the foundation for the whole franchise, if you really think about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Like without him having that opening chapter and really winning people over, I don't know that it would have continued the way it did. And I think that he was steady in his like delivery and his acting and his performances throughout everything. Whether it's that early Iron Man movie or even later stuff that some of it was silly, I never got the feeling that he was phoning it in. I always felt like Robert Downey Jr. Well, they certainly paid him enough. Was like 100% on board. But for example, Brie Larson. She has the acting chops, but she doesn't have the likability. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
When you saw Captain Marvel, one of the worst things about it is that you didn't really like her. Like there wasn't this thing that you're automatically liking this lady on screen, that you're already like, you're rooting for her. You literally don't care about her. Like 5 seconds into the movie, she seems annoying and you don't like her. That doesn't mean that Brie Larson is a bad actress. I just think she's not good for like a superhero movie. So
Yes.
just throwing that out there.
And just so we're clear, Death Sport is a movie. I just said the wrong one. Death Sport is a Corman film that stars David Carradine on a motorcycle, and it's awful.
It sounds great, actually. We have one more super chat. £2 from Kingdom 1996 says, "This is a super chat. Just started listening." Well, we thank you for that. We appreciate everything, and I guess I don't know how do we get to, because we were talking about some of these.
Yeah, and we actually we have one more super chat. Let's get it before we
Can you highlight it?
Yeah, I'll highlight it real quick. Hold on. Let's get it before we hit our next. That's not it. That's it. Here we go. Jason Webster for an Australian $5. Coming soon. Pedro Pascal in My Left Foot in My Mouth. Yes.
Awesome. It's strange that I read the book My Left Foot before before they made a movie out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like a young kid. I don't know. Okay. It's a really long story, but a teacher of mine when I was young thought that I should read the book. I'm not sure why. It was really not a fun book for a kid to read. You know what I mean?
No, it's actually a fairly depressing story.
It's a very depressing story. There's a lot to lay on. Like I was really a little kid. I don't know. Like I don't think anybody at the age as young as I was ever read My Left Foot. Maybe that's why I'm such a jerk today. You know what I mean? Because that's like here, read My Left Foot. So crazy. I will say this: if you're on, YouTube and you're watching the stream, maybe you arrived from some other channel of mine. Maybe you got a social media post on some other platform directing you here. And let's say you're not yet a subscriber of this channel, which is my live stream channel. It's not the same as my reviews channel. If you're not yet subscribed, you should subscribe right now, because we're always happy to bring in more subscribers, especially to Price of Reason Live. So you can do that right now, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. So how did we get here? I don't even know where we're
we were talking about the Odyssey. We were talking about Rotten Tomatoes. And just looking at the general box office, there was one more thing that I wanted to take a look at before we move on that has to do with the the movie of the moment, the Odyssey. Almost a little tired of talking about it, but it is what's going on right now. So this I mentioned this earlier. We were talking about this. It's not letting me share. Maybe I'll have to back out. Nope. Here we go. Think so. Yeah, there we go. So this is supposed to, some people have been sharing this around. This is Emily Wilson, who is the academic who is responsible for writing the feminist translation of the Odyssey that Christopher Nolan used as the basis for his film. Now, I say used as the basis for his film because he changed a whole hell of a lot, even from her version, and she's quite happy to tell you about that.
What did you think about the film in terms of this notion of the Odyssey as an anti-war text?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought I want to, not spoil anything about the film, because I know the majority of people haven't seen the film. The film has these flashbacks to the Trojan War. I'm not sure if I see it as an entirely anti-war film, but it certainly presents us with an Odysseus who feels very bad about certain things that he's done in war and is struggling to process them in a very, I would say, very modern psychiatrized way. And he's struggling to process them and needs drugs to do so for help with his recovery.
Right.
And he seems to feel bad about being a warrior, and we never actually get to see him doing much warrioring, which I thought in a way was a bit of a shame. I mean, we do get to see the boat, which is lovely, but I think in some ways, I mean, I was realizing, thinking about the film, there's a tolerance for ambiguity in the world of the Odyssey, which I don't think there exactly is in the world of Hollywood blockbuster action films.
Right.
And I think that's one of the big challenges for Nolan, right?
Yeah.
Is that he has to make the protagonist a likable all-American hero,
Right.
which is a real challenge if you're basing this on a poem where the hero is not necessarily motivated by romantic love or being a nice suburban parent, but actually he wants glory, and he wants to get spoils from the sack of a city, which is, you'll see what Nolan does with all of that, but it's different things from what Homer does.
Right.
I kept looking in vain for a sense that this was a film about glory. I think it's a film that has some interest in shame, but I don't think it has any interest in glory.
I was going to ask you sort of if there were any scenes from the book that you wish had been in the movie, or tonalities, or if you had written the screenplay, are there moments you would have loved to include?
I mean, this is a very different adaptation from any that I would have done. So I think but it is very much in tune with things that Nolan has been obsessed with his whole career.
Right.
So I think, if you're a Nolan fan.
Oh boy. So she says, "Yeah, this isn't my translation. It's his translation. He made this story. He decided to change all of these things," and basically disavows her having much of anything to do with what he's made, which I find absolutely hilarious. By the way, yes, all women in academia look like them. Just so you know. I'm just kidding. Not all of them, but most of them.
She's responsible for the feminist angle.
Yeah, so she's not this one. She's the interviewer. Yeah, this is Emily Wilson, who wrote that feminist translation of the Odyssey that Nolan was encouraged to read by his wife, and he read it and was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be the base of my book," whatever. But even her feminist translation did not change the nature of who Odysseus was. It didn't make him a psychiatric patient suffering from PTSD who needs a therapist in Calypso to feed him drugs so that he can recover from the trauma of his experiences in war. None of that is in the original, right? None of it. So, yeah, even she's gonna point that out, which is rather hilarious, right? Like, kind of throwing him under the bus. I didn't make those choices. It's not how I translated it. So, she's still awful, by the way. Not gonna say she's not. She made an awful feminist translation with all sorts of stuff, changing the roles of women and the way that they act and the way that they the roles that they play in the story, changing things to make it sound like every last encounter that a man has with a woman is non-consensual, all kinds of stuff like that people have talked about in her translation. But that's immaterial to what we're talking about here, which is even she agrees that the version that Nolan wrote is not faithful to the original story, and it's crappy.
Yeah, she may be feminist, but she's not that feminist.
Right.
The fact is, here's the difference with someone with an ideology, but who's still educated and understands the material, versus somebody who's just going off of talking points that they didn't make and really didn't understand. Like, this reminds me of Disney. When Doctor Who was too woke for Disney, there's a problem. When this movie is too woke for her, there's a problem.
I don't know if Mark D with the C is still around, but I send him an invite too if he happens to be.
I saw him in the chat just a few minutes ago, so yeah, he may just need a,
I think
need
he
a
is.
minute to set up.
Hey,
He wants to
man,
join
don't
us.
make fun of my channel. I'm trying my hardest.
I didn't make
I
fun of it
wasn't-
at all. I was saying it was
I wasn't
doing
making
well.
fun of it at all.
It felt like, I don't know.
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
a bit scared about it,
If I hurt your feelings, if I was not intending to make fun of you, buddy.
I actually I
we were
want to make it
we were
clear.
laughing. We were actually just laughing in the green room before. Like Price was saying, "What am I doing wrong? It's just blowing it up," and I can't.
yeah, but I'm only doing that because of all the people that you guys have helped cultivate. Like, I don't think I'm getting anybody new. This is all the people that already watch us.
I unironically, I think this was before. Didn't I say this? I don't know if I said it on the stream before that I said that you're going to soon replace Asmongold. Maybe I said it on the stream, but I wasn't kidding. I wasn't kidding. I honestly am saying that your opening of your YouTube channel has been phenomenal. Like I wasn't. This wasn't like a cynical thing that I was saying. It wasn't meant as a joke. So if you perceived it as a joke, I want to clarify. I wasn't joking at all.
When you said bring his 50,000 subscribers, I don't know. I'm all up for good-natured ribbing, but you realize my numbers are still microscopic compared to people.
I know. We know, buddy. We know. You're doing great. You're taking off like a rocket. You've got a long way to go before you're going to be Asmongold. But yeah. It's your channel's doing great, and you're making some great videos. So yeah,
even
but on the
longer
flip
because
side,
it looks.
It is one of the better openings for a YouTube channel that I've seen. Like, it's very difficult to start a YouTube channel and start posting videos. It's one of the best openings that I can remember. So that part, I'm not. All the ribbing and stuff is just surrounding the fact that we're all acknowledging the fact that you started off very nicely. But it was never meant in a way that was supposed to make fun of you or offend you. I just want to clarify.
I know. I didn't take it that way. It's the weird thing though is that YouTube doesn't. They seem to be a little weird about how they give credit. They'll tell me I have a certain amount of hours, and then when I go look somewhere else, it'll be half of that. And I'm like they don't seem to count everything.
Well, I don't quite know exactly what you mean.
Well,
but
welcome to YouTube. They're extra screwy about how they decide that yes, you get these hours and then hours disappear later and then they come back and then they decide to change the exactly what it is that they're willing to count or how they're willing to count it. They've just recently they completely just removed watches almost completely from the algorithm altogether, from what I understand, and it's all about engagement. You have to actually interact with the video in some way to get any recognition of all that it's actually been seen, which means that people who are watching on apps on their TV and stuff, who they don't thumbs up things, they don't whatever, it shows up and they watch it doesn't count, right? So
Here you got a sub, by the way.
I got a lot of TV. I can go and look and I see a lot of my watches are on TV. Maybe that's why. Because on analytics, it says, hey, you have 3.2 thousand hours. And then I go to monetization, you need 3. And it says, oh, you have 1.3 thousand hours count toward monetization. I'm like, well, why'd you tell me in the other place that I had that?
That's very weird. But I feel like you probably, even with these videos, have gotten a lot of views, a lot of hours, and based on the amount of subs you already have and the amount of hours you're getting, I think that you're going to be able to be monetized in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you something weird. Okay. Even a video I made that's like, hey, check out this book. I really love it. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. And I'll get a bunch of negative comments. But on my Odyssey review, which is fairly critical, but I feel like it's balanced, your guys, not the worst movie, but hardly not the best. I only had 2 negative comments out of all of them. So I'm thinking maybe there are fewer defenders of this movie than we suspect, and they're not bothering to go to little channels like mine.
Who knows? But all I know is that we were looking at the tickets for this weekend, and I think that it's very clear that when there's an IMAX or a 70 million meter, IMAX, those things people are buying those tickets. But when you look at these kind of regular screenings that are non-IMAX, just standard screening, a lot of those theaters until now seem pretty empty. So the question is if this is just going to be a thing where the IMAX is what's going to make this big money for people, or I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
very
but
curious to see what will happen with the second weekend.
Well, I did a lot of research into that. Okay, this has only been Nolan's, this is his third biggest opening in terms of both inflation and tickets sold. And so it's number three, but he only sold 3 times as many people went to see The Dark Knight than this movie. And the press is like presenting it like it's such a triumph, unprecedented, but it's only his third biggest opening in terms of butts and seats and adjusted dollars. So, and IMAX at most counts for what it's like 20% of the take, and they only have 1% of the movie theaters. So it's definitely a big, it's a big difference, but it's still like, it's not a big difference enough to, I think, save it overall.
And hello to everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yep.
And I really have to thank
what's up,
Price
Mark?
very quickly because you saved my ears. So I remembered to bring my eargasms to the second viewing of the Odyssey that I was forced to see because I couldn't
This
get out
man
of it.
had to see it twice in the
Twice.
theater.
Yes.
And didn't it make a difference?
Oh, it did. Thank God. Because and even my wife, because she wanted to go. We went dinner and a movie with another couple. I'm like, I really don't want to see this again. She's like, well, we already kind of made plans. You can't get out of it.
Did your wife like it? What did she think?
They all thought it was very middle of the road. They didn't hate it, but they're like, yeah, it wasn't great. But,
Like
it
all of
wasn't,
us.
it's not, like all of us. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like, oh, this phenomenal experience. And they all thought it was way too effing loud. And this was the IMAX theater, the second time around. And they all also missed a lot of the dialogue too.
Yeah, it some of the dialogue is really hard to suss out.
And the second time around, it was very tough. I consider myself an Odyssey expert now, and I'm like straining for the words. And I'm like, but thank you, Price, for the eargasms. Oh my God, it's
you should always keep those in your, attached to your keychain because they come with this keychain thing. You should always
it's a
keep
good
them
idea.
around. You never know what'll happen, especially with these IMAX things. Like, it's not the first time that I've gone to a movie theater or something like that, and that happens. Sometimes also, I think I was telling you that in a Mexican restaurant, they do like the trumpets in my ears. So that's one.
Yeah.
But, you never know what'll happen. And my ears are sensitive. So it just gives me this kind of sense of security that if I need to, I immediately open that, put that in my ears, and it's already like some kind of relief.
Yeah, every guitarist I've ever played at is deaf now, and half of the people I went to concerts with, because I always carried earplugs with me. Being a, well,
if Eargasm would like to sponsor Price of Reason Studios, recommend they get in touch. But
I don't think
it is a good thing to have. Whatever.
They're not. They're tunable, and they're not. They don't give you quite the muffled feeling you get with the other earplugs. So they cut out the
dialogue.
high end.
The dialogue was actually easier to understand because I remember what you said, and I'm like, no, it can't. I mean, I'm not that I don't believe you, but I'm like, is it really going to work so I can understand the dialogue better? And it was actually easier to understand.
I'm telling you, I started the movie without them in my ears, and then I'm like, oh, I have these with me. I can solve this problem, and I put them in my ears, and I felt like I understood what they were saying much more than before. So it does get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what we're talking about are eargasms. If you go on Amazon, just Google eargasms. Yeah.
I can't believe at least put an affiliate link in your description.
Let's see if I can find eargasm. I think
you should
this
do a video like eargasm saves me from the Odyssey,
and that'll be like 1 million views for some reason.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens to me. Unlike Ista, for me, usually when I do like a stupid video that I think nobody's gonna watch, that ends up being one that people watch. And then if I put all this work into one and I'm so passionate about it, I put it up and like 3 people watch it. So
yeah, that's what happens. And like I'm like, I do a video, I'm like, this one's gonna hit. I'm gonna get gazillion views, and boom, nope, no.
I had I had a review that I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't know how many views it has. But there was one day that I went to see like this movie with Daisy Ridley. I saw an early screening with Daisy Ridley and some zombie movie, and I posted some review about it. And I thought to myself, nobody's talking about this movie. Nobody wants to watch it. It's going to flop. There's zero interest. There's zero buzz. And I put this review in the second. I think that I thought of putting it on my on like the Price of Reason Live bonus content channel, thinking that it's more kind of niche. And
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe even by mistake, or I just started the process and I'm like, whatever. I put it on the main channel thinking like 3 people are going to watch it. And at the end, I don't know if like maybe 15,000 people watched it, which, considering it was like a movie that nobody cared about, I was shocked that anybody actually watched it. And until now, from time to time, I get people that watch that review and then like, put a comment on it or say something or whatever it is. So I guess what I'm saying is it also, like, I didn't put all my passion into it. It was just a video. I barely even remember making that review at all. And that one, more people were watching. So you never know.
Yeah, it's weird how in certain videos of mine, I do a lot of shorts from Comic-Con and things like that, and some of them just always get like 100 views every day or more, depends. But and you're like, this was like a low effort video. It was just 10, 15 seconds of someone cosplaying, and it's and you never know. And then like you said, another video you could do a ton of work on, and I did all this editing and stuff, and no one watches it. So
Right. So, I mean, there's an element that you never really know what'll happen. But if I had to give my analysis, one thing that I'll say about Ista's channel, I think that Ista benefited from the fact that he's been streaming a lot, watching a lot of videos, and he didn't just go like start a channel and just randomly posting things. I feel like his videos until now, from what I can tell, have been pretty well thought. How do I explain? He thought through
Considered.
them. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you actually sat and thought what you wanted to do and made the videos that you wanted to make, but they're not just this kind of like random that you're sitting on your toilet and somebody, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
you found my secret.
No, because like even I'll say early
That's
on,
why his mic sounds like that. Ah.
early on when I started like a YouTube channel, I just did a few videos. Then for months I didn't do one. Then I did one, and like I didn't even know what I was doing or why I was doing it. I tried one thing, and then I tried another thing, and then I tried something else. Like I didn't fully even get what I was doing. And I think that when it comes to building a channel, somebody that already like has built, first of all, like you said, you build contacts, but you also build experience, and you also sort of found your voice and things like that. So once you started doing it, you were pretty focused, from what I can tell, and I think that's helping. And I suspect it's going to continue to help you. So
yeah, being on here and being on Mr. Brown were absolutely invaluable, because I had no idea when I first started, and it just helped me sort of focus. Plus, I have this friend that hates everything. Like, he really is, whatever you say, he's like, I don't care. So I run ideas by him. And if he just says, oh, what was that? It's like, I know I'll do that one, because otherwise he doesn't care. So,
well, whatever it is,
what do you
like
think
I
about
said,
Rachel Ziegler? He's like, I don't care. What do you, is Supergirl? He's like, well, what about it? And I'm like, okay, I'll go.
Robot Head appears to have joined the
yay.
chat.
Oh,
wow! I don't think he has a picture
avatar.
Avatar, okay. But all you have to do is unmute Robot Head. It won't have an avatar.
I don't think he's muted. I think he actually is here, and if he talks, I think we'll hear him.
It'll be like a disembodied robot head
in here.
Wait, actually, he needs to unmute his mic.
Yeah, he's muted on his end. Looks like.
But now he unmuted himself.
Am I here?
There he
is. You're here.
Yay.
Hello.
I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes.
Oh, have you?
You didn't say anything.
Well, you're probably because you joined after the other guys. Is like you're completely off the screen. We didn't even see you there.
And I've got no logo. I have no presence.
No,
wait. We're going to fix that.
There's
Ista's
got dancing robot heads all over his profile.
Yeah, that'll do. I'm rocking out.
You are going to show up here in a second. Like, I'm already on it.
looking good.
Well, morning Yeah, afternoon,
Afternoon.
Afternoon. Okay, yeah.
4:11 p.m.
It's probably like Friday where you're at.
No, not
Even
yet. We're in the
AI
future, not that far.
Yeah, even AI can't figure out what time it is in Australia. That's how fucked up it is.
Well, we don't exist.
Yeah.
We're just floating out here doing our own thing. Just but it doesn't matter how far away we are. Enough people online like to call me a racist, right-wing Trumper.
Well,
So
yes, of course. Why would they call you otherwise?
yes. So you're talking about that wonderful film.
We have been talking about the amazing film that is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Yeah.
Now I heard Mark D with a C. Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Don't believe
Nice
I've
to
ever
meet you.
met. I heard that he sent it twice, but I saw the start 3 times because the projector fucked up twice.
Oh no!
And
So were you at a 70 millimeter, like on film?
No, it was a digital. It's VMAX here, so it's big. But
the VMAX. Okay.
It stuttered, and then the audio went out of line with the visuals. That happened in the first time, and then they rebooted the machine, which took 10 minutes, and then about half an hour in, it did it again. So that then they joined us into another cinema, another session that was starting, and then it worked fine. But I got to see the Elliot Page run 3 times in a row. So that made my day.
God bless you.
How ridiculous! How ridiculous did that run look?
Oh, I know people. Just quickly on the cinema, there's someone I know that has booked. What's it called? The big one. The
70 millimeter IMAX.
Yes, yeah. He's booked that weeks out. So obviously we've only got one IMAX cinema in Melbourne. Apparently, I think it could be the biggest in the world. But anyway, screen. But we've only got one, so he's waiting weeks to see it there. But I went on opening day, and it wasn't even half full. There was probably about 15 people in there. And then when they moved us into the other cinema, a later session, wouldn't have even been half full. So I was surprised all these numbers that are coming out that it's breaking records. I mean, that's just, anecdotal. Yeah. That's just my experience. But, I know the IMAX is booking out, but I don't think the regular cinema is haven't. You can go anytime here.
Yeah, no, there were 12 or 15 people in mine. Listen, regardless of everything else, something smells fishy. Like, that's all I could say.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Well, we had in our theater, our theaters are all packed, but we don't have the real IMAX. I call them the FOMAX and the Dolby Digital. And we had this, God bless the old lady that walked in with her walker, and then people started to help her, and then she sat down next to me. But there was some, I was joking on my stream earlier. I said, people are hungry for adult films. And,
exactly.
Maybe not the superhero movies. So
adult films.
Adult films. Yes, everyone wants to see adult films without these superheroes. But I think it does bring in. People are do want that classic. Cinema. I'm not saying we got that with this movie, but I love the whole idea of IMAX and the spectacle of it, and bringing back the theaters and experience. And I just learned that IMAX hasn't made a new projector in 50 years. The film projector.
That really shocked me. That was, and they're talking about how they can't even really repair them. They don't even have the parts.
Yeah, they want event films. People want event films. That's why Barbenheimer was so big, because it was a big deal. It was an event, and the marketing was heavily trying to push this towards an event film. But whenever I hear anybody who thinks this is the greatest cinematic achievement of all time, they can never tell me why. They can only repeat what they said, the marketing points, and, well, real film, practical effects, in camera, he did everything. And it's like, yeah, but there's also a lot of limitations, like the camera can't move. People, you don't get any crane shots. There's very little dynamism in the camera, and it's all his choice. He could have done whatever he wanted. So any limitation was done precisely and specifically by him. And, people keep telling me it's visually amazing. And I'm like, Lord of the Rings? And they're like, well, it wasn't that good. And I'm like, well, then how's it the greatest visual thing you've ever seen?
Mm-hmm. Those movies
already beat it.
It's just such a jerk off for the filmmaker, because if it's done well, like the old effects in Star Wars mightn't look great by today's standards, but who cares? Like we just love the experience and the storytelling.
Yeah.
I was grabbing clips from Gladiator to use in my video, and like they pan up to the Colosseum, and it's sort of looking a bit dated now, the look of the Colosseum, but visually that's what we want to be taken there. We want to experience it.
Yeah.
Putting this restriction that everything's got to be done in camera is ridiculous. And like they did a lot in camera for Lord of the Rings with all the forced perspective and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was mixed in with CGI. It was all done well.
There was mixes of practical and in camera, and there was that's the way that it needs to get done, and that's why it works so well in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Is that they took the techniques that work and they combined them together so that they could get the best out of each of them. Right? They didn't just say, "All right, we're going to do every effect in this." Weta Digital's great, which they are. They've made some really incredible CGI for films, but we're just gonna do everything CGI. The characters and how small they're supposed to be in relation to each other. Everything is going to be them shrunken down using CGI, and every weapon and every last orc and everything all CGI. No, they didn't do that. They used makeup. They used in camera. They used opticals. They used, green screen. They used CGI where it was appropriate. And so, you get a really timeless looking film. Yeah, there's some.
Did you see
stuff in there, but
Did you see Scylla?
God,
He could have used a little bit. He could have used a little bit of CGI.
That was terrible.
It's just like a restaurant. I don't care what the chef is doing, jacking off back in the camera. I only care what the food tastes like.
I care if the chef is jacking off in the food. I have to admit,
I do too.
That is, I'm pretty open-minded. I'm pretty open to the chef experimenting. But
I said that
slightly.
If he's washing his hands afterwards, no.
Yeah.
I'll have the squid with extra tentacles, but not any of the other extra stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I said that so you get a good clip out of that. But I don't care about his technique. I just want the food to be good. And that's what they did with Lord of the Rings. The best way to do it and combining all of the best ways to create the best possible image. Nobody, even fans of this movie, can't tell me that Scylla was the best possible representation of that image.
Oh, it was absurd. And again, if they were going to try and do something, I think I said this the other day, but if they were going to insist on, it needs to be grounded, it needs to feel real or whatever, they could have done a giant squid or something, right? That just reaches up out of the water and starts pulling the sailors off and dragging them into the sea or whatever. Like they could have done that. That would have been fine.
That part didn't look so good, right? But how come it actually didn't look so good? Couldn't they have easily made it look better?
You would think, yes.
The lighting, I think they skimped on it. And one thing I have to say, seeing the Odyssey twice, nothing about it looked epic. I mean, when he lands in Ithaca, finally gets back, and and they pull back, and it's just a bunch of cloudy, horrible looking shoreline. It doesn't, you talk about Lord of the Rings, how gorgeous, New Zealand and all those epic vistas looked. There's really nothing, and I was trying to pay attention the second time. I'm like, let me really look for this. Aside from the lack of the score that gave me a headache the first time around, there's nothing epic in the score. There's nothing epic in the way this looks. I mean, it didn't, and I love the idea of IMAX again, and that great format and the the huge picture. But it, I was thinking contrasted with the movie Patton, on 70 millimeter, which wasn't IMAX,
amazing.
But how epic that movie looks, and I wish I could see that in a movie theater.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Professor, say giant squid again for me. I have something for that.
Giant squid?
Let loose the Kraken!
Big Sir River says weird because in The Dark Knight, Two-Face is CGI, so Nolan is a hypocrite. He is CGI. I actually thought it was pretty decent CGI too.
Who was CGI in The Dark Knight?
Two-Face. It was a very creepy body horror. It was a very body horror Two-Face.
You could see all the muscles and tendons in the face and his tongue moving through his cheek. Yeah, it's creepy.
I kind of like that, honestly.
No, it was. It was fine. It's just funny that it's we don't use CGI. I don't use CGI, except you did.
Well, that's the same with authenticity. I'm going to be authentic until I'm not.
Until I'm not.
But the Cyclops, the puppet they show, looks completely different to the final vision. Like that was CGI, wasn't it? I imagine that couldn't have been
Probably.
done in camera because it doesn't look anything like the puppet.
They did it with it was done with an actor, and then they composited him into the shot on top of the puppet.
Because he does look like that in real life. Well, not that bad. But the actor. Yeah, it's kind of like Mark Ruffalo and the Hulk, merged together.
That's his magic trick. All of the compositing is computer generated. They did some overlays. It's all marketing, and I feel like basically the people that are just sort of fans of Nolan without thinking, they've just kind of been hypnotized by the magic trick of his, Nolanisms.
You know what's interesting is that I actually am one of the first. I'm not saying that I'm one of the first in the world that ever noticed Nolan, but I actually knew Nolan from Memento when Memento came out. And at the time, if you would have said, "Hey, do you know who Christopher Nolan is? Have you seen Memento?" 99% of the people you would have asked that would have said, "Who?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really like that. And I thought to myself, wow, I really like what this guy does. I want to see more of his movies. And over the years, that's also one of like the reasons why I was like an early adopter. I knew his movies from before most other people. And I was kind of following his career with great interest and all that stuff. So I was always happy when he was like growing and doing well and doing these movies. But I do feel like, over the years, especially over the past 5 years, I think he's grown more kind of pompous. And this movie is like a manifestation of that in a way.
Yeah,
I
he's
always feel
also
like I'm watching a craftsman. Like I'm watching someone that they know technically what they're doing, but I rarely get connected to his films. Like I rarely feel anything, or I can easily pause them and go get a drink or something. That means nothing to me. I'm not invested in his stories, and I can say it's nearly all of his films. Like I actually don't mind, probably like more than anyone else, Tenet, because it's the same thing again. I'm just watching someone do tricks with a camera and just sort of new ideas. But I connect with that about as much as of any of his films. There's just always something missing for me.
He was also a much more collaborative filmmaker. He would do a lot more work with his brother and other people. And I think when anybody gets to the point where they stop listening to the people around them, their work inevitably suffers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he flipped the truck in Batman, you're like, that's cool. That's practical. That's amazing. Because the end result is incredible. But just forcing in-camera tricks for no reason at all is just a huge masturbation.
He's very clinical. He's not a guy that I feel like he doesn't have many emotions, and because he's not a very emotional guy, maybe he has vision and he has technique and he has all that other stuff. I think Robot had what you were saying was missing from his movies is sometimes that additional human element that you want to feel something, that you want to really have a more kind of catharsis, like emotional process that you're going through. Those are sometimes missing from his movies, in my opinion.
I like that it looks like on screen that Price, we're living together. We're in our own little apartment.
With the disco ball in the background.
Having a sleepover. Yeah, we're gonna have a dance later. I know I heard you play it before, but what do you got the screenplay from that woman that wrote did she write a new book on the Odyssey? But that she doesn't even like it. That was
Emily Wilson. Yeah,
I only saw that earlier today, and man, that made me laugh. I thought, wow, there's a new member to the Chuds. She's gonna. What are they gonna say about that? All the people that just love the film. Yeah,
totally.
Oops.
Yeah, and Insomnia, I didn't mind. I think that was right after Memento.
That was a pretty good one, and it had Robin Williams and Al Pacino, which that's always good to have in a movie. And you know what? Where he was lacking maybe in a bit of emotion, I think that actors like that managed to overcompensate for his shortcomings, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, did you hear the story about what's his name? Twilight guy. God,
Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, did you hear the story he told? He was sitting in the weeds, and I guess a woman was listening to him talk to Nolan. She didn't hear the whole thing, but Pattinson was asking Nolan, "I'm not really feeling this. What should I do? Like, how should I bring the character?" And Nolan's answer was, "You're the actor. That's your department. I don't care." And he walked off. And I'm thinking, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, that does actually explain something.
No, but that's what the whole point of a director. He's supposed to direct the performance, the emotions, and what he wants from the actors.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you hear about directors going way too far a certain way, or they clash over the interpretation. But God, if an actor's asking you for help, you think you'd give some kind of response there.
Yeah, even George Lucas gave better direction. Faster, more intense, but at least it's something.
Yeah. I did like Pattinson's performance. I thought he did a excellent job. Yeah,
I thought that was maybe his best performance to date, actually, because a lot of times I kind of don't rate Pattinson, but I think that in this movie he did whatever he could. I didn't think he was the weak link in it.
No, and I thought Damon, like I'm gonna say, man, when you were talking earlier, I thought, what if Daniel Day-Lewis had been Odysseus? How freaking epic would that have been? But he wasn't as weak as I thought he was going to be, but you already know Tom Holland, Zendaya, some of the other I thought Leguizamo, Pattinson, and Anne Hathaway. Although in the second time around, I was less impressed with Anne Hathaway, but I still thought, it wasn't to the film's detriment.
I thought she was fine. She didn't bother me.
Have you heard Gary Oldman talk about the direction he got from Nolan in the Batman films?
No. Tell.
There's only a little clip. I've seen it quite a few times, and he said, and you're talking Gary Oldman, so I just assumed it was probably because it's Gary Oldman. But he said he only gave him 2 notes through the whole 3 films to do something differently, and it was he said at one stage it was the best sort of note or direction a director had ever given me. He just came up and said, "There's more at stake here." And he said, oh, straight away I knew what he wanted. He said he didn't tell me the background or explain what was happening. He just told me, there's more at stake here. You've got to bring it up a bit. And he said that was only one of 2 things he ever told me. And I thought, that's good if you got Gary Oldman and you don't have to tell him what to do and you can just direct him like that. But it feels like that's how he treats all his actors. And there's people not at Gary Oldman's skill level that can just not need direction and make it through 3 films or one single film. So when I heard that, I thought, that's pretty cool, the way he handled that. But after seeing this, I'm thinking, maybe he needs to get in there and tell Tom Holland that he's not, Peter Parker in every film he does.
Yeah. Do you think he hired Zendaya because of Peter Parker? Or did he hire Peter Parker because of Zendaya? Okay.
If you actually, if the interviews that Tom Holland did and with Zendaya, basically, the story she told anyway was that Holland went in for to talk to him about this role and to see the script, to talk with him about the script and whatever. She had seen the script herself that he had been allowed to look at, and when he came back from talking to Nolan about the role, he told her, "Hey, read this again, but read the Athena stuff." And she was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, he kind of wants you to be Athena. And so it basically, she just came along because Tom Holland was already in the film.
Are they a package deal these days, these two?
Apparently.
Seems
Christ, why have I got a big lump on my head and why am I so short?
They're
What have you done to my head? I don't want to stay in your house anymore. I don't know what you're doing to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to make this better, but I think I somehow made this worse.
Give me an egghead.
Wait a second. I'm going to try to fix it now. Hold on.
That armor looks almost convincing as Agamemnon's armor in the movie.
Exactly.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Now
I love that Power Ranger armor. That was awesome.
Yeah. It looks like a Power Ranger villain. It's the best. Yeah.
Okay, wait a second, Robot Head.
Now he's just gone altogether.
No, he's going to return and better than ever.
Bigger, stronger. We can
return
rebuild
of Robot Head.
$6 million.
Oh my God, what's going on? There's so many things with this film. You virtually have to pick a lane of what you're going to argue about.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot.
Yeah, because there's so many elements of the film that just, and like I said in my video, I was never bored. It's fine to watch, and like I've told people, if you're going to see it on the big screen, it'll be better than seeing it at home. But I've just chosen online to just make fun of the casting and just that there's no Greeks in it, and that like that people are now trying to tell me that Greeks don't even exist, or they didn't exist back in the past. So I'm enjoying making fun of that. But there's nothing you remember from this film. Nothing. There's not a line of dialogue unless it's bad and you've been laughing at it. And there's not a scene. There's nothing that just is lifted up into, what should be an epic film. It's quite surprising. And you can tell because the people that want to argue online just instantly personal attacks. They can't tell you what's great about the film. They can't tell you what their favorite part was. They just, you're all chuds, you're all fucking, grifters, and all the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, because this movie
didn't
became
mean to kill the stream.
No.
Is this thing on?
I'm still trying to fix your avatar, but I think I messed up. Now you have a lump on your head.
This whole movie became so controversial, and you just can't review it as a movie on its own, and it became something more than that. Where you can't, and then if you say like, "Oh, I didn't really, think it was that great," and then they're like, "Oh, you're just doing that because of the politics or this or that." It's like, well, there's different levels you can review something too. You can, you might not agree with the politics or the messaging, but you also say, "I just don't think it was that exciting." I mean, it wasn't it's one of the great all-time stories of Western literature, and then they twist it so that Odysseus is regretting the Trojan horse, and it wasn't. They weren't going to try to rescue Helen. It was because of the trade routes from the Phantom Menace. And I mean,
is Robot Head getting a haircut? Is he wearing one of those things when you go into the barber?
I don't know. I did my best. Is this any better, Robot Head?
This is a rubber suit that Price makes you wear when you come and visit. He didn't make you wear that suit.
Look, okay, he does not want all the chips and skin flakes to fall off into his room.
That's what he told me. He said it's for my own protection.
Keep the still suit on.
Yeah,
recycle your waste.
The bump was when he hit you on the head to steal your wallet. Like,
I think that under the circumstances, this is the best I could do. It kind of seems like you're hanging out here.
Yeah. We're off to Outback Steakhouse soon. You got to get me one of those sharks from the shark drink.
I've never even tried it. I didn't even notice it until you told me. But once you said it, I don't know. What is that drink even? I have to drink it, I guess.
What's it called?
It's some drink that it looks like a shark bit you, and there's like blood in the water.
Oh
or something.
Oh god, yeah.
And they've worked the jaws into the name.
Wow.
And then you pour something red out of the shark into the drink. Looks disgusting, but I want one of the sharks.
Yeah, well, you know how they have inappropriate advertisements on Instagram sometime or whatever you're scrolling in social media? So one of my friends, his kid, is an Olympic swimmer, and she went to the ESPY Awards with the girl that had her foot bitten off by a shark and is now a Paralympic swimmer, and they've known each other since they were kids, and God bless her. And I'm like, was
she the surfboarding girl?
She wasn't the surfboarding girl. No, it's oh God, what's her? I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she's famous now for being, the Paralympics and everything. And it's Ollie Truitt. So she's at the ESPY Awards with my, friend of mine, her kid, like to get to go. And then I love Jaws, and then an ad for the Jaws game, the bloody mangled shark comes up, and then she's in the picture right above it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so inappropriate, and I'm feeling guilty for enjoying Jaws. I'm I was sending it to my friend. I'm like, I don't think
slightly awkward.
Slightly awkward, yeah. But God bless her. And she goes back in the water. She's back swimming, and in the ocean. I'm like, oh my, I would go. I'd never go anywhere near the freaking ocean again.
Yeah, I think that'd be the end for me for swimming in the ocean. I think
God,
something goes and bites a piece of you off. I don't know if I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that they had that ad together. It's like maybe Instagram don't put ads for Jaws under a shark victim.
By the way, Robot Head, this is the drink that you were talking about, right?
Oh, there's better images than that. I don't know why that shark's got dots all over. There's one that's got the name on it. That's the one I want.
Okay.
Where is it? You got it. I think I saw it on their website. It's because you said you were going there, and I wanted to see what they had on available at the time.
Shark Outback drink. Yeah, let me see.
It's got Jaws in the title.
Jaws.
You know it's a classy establishment when there's photos in the menu.
Yeah.
Trying to find it. I gave you some picture of it, and it was a good picture, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You tweeted, didn't you? Yeah, you sent me one.
Here you go.
Okay, Aussie Jossie. That's what it's named.
That's it. And it's got
Oh,
the
it's looking
Outback
good.
written on it.
But you're saying there was a better picture? I don't know where I got it.
No,
Maybe-
that's good. No, the other
Oh,
shark
this is
didn't
the
look
one I'm
right.
sharing here. Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's the Outback Steakhouse logo
Yeah, that's
painted on the
brilliant.
side.
I want one of those sharks.
So there
The
you go.
blood dripping out. Oh my god! Yeah.
Just for, when you go to Outback, just for the shark drink. Okay.
Oh, I think you can buy those sharks at a dollar store, like a 3-pack. I have some pool toys, and they're hollow. You can put
Yeah.
whatever you want in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's got to have Outback Steakhouse on it because Price promised he'd take me there one day.
See, that looks CGI'd right there. I think that's fake. That's fake. But yes.
If and when Robot Head comes to the U.S. and if he's in my area, we're going to Outback Steakhouse. It's going to probably seem so pathetic to you. You're probably going
If,
to.
if I'm in the area, it's the only reason I'm coming over.
It's for Outback.
Yeah.
You're probably going to hate it. You're going to tell you this is like the dumbest thing ever. Plus, like
Hey.
they come up with stuff. We have no way of knowing if this is true or not. They have some onions that they fry, and they make it seem like
Oh, the
some
blooming
awesome
onion.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Bloomin'
blooming
onion.
onion.
Nobody in Australia has ever eaten a bloomin' onion.
No, first time I saw it was you sent me photos.
We have Google. What do you mean no way to know? We
know if we bother Googling it. This has also been here for years. Like for decades, they've built this idea that bloomin' onion is a thing in Australia. Yes, maybe today you could Google it, but back when they invented it, they
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
plan on you Googling anything. They're just like,
Yeah.
who are you to tell us there's no blooming onion in Australia?
It's like a Foster's, Australian for, we don't drink that piss here.
Exactly.
They have Fosters. That's a big deal at like Outback. And again, we don't. At least for years, I didn't know that it's considered like not even good Australian beer.
That is the best marketing ever. I'm sure we've talked about it before, but Paul Hogan's selling Foster's to Americans in the world that it's our favorite beer. And I swear to God, and I'm not
Is it?
joking, maybe when I was a kid, there was like some old uncle drinking a Foster's, but I cannot remember ever seeing someone drinking a Foster's.
Even today, it's not a thing. Like after all these years, nobody cares about it.
Oh no, it's
No.
shit beer, man. Australians hate Foster's. If you even bring it up, they'll yell at you. Like
It's kind of like Bud Light.
it's worse than that. It's like Lone Star or what is it, Keystone? It's absolute garbage beer. Yeah.
Do a lot of people eat steaks in Australia because it's like Outback Steakhouse? Is steak
We
like a
like
thing?
steaks. Yeah,
You
we
do?
do like steak. There's a lot of meat here, that's for sure.
But
I
again-
shared online that when my mind's gone today. I've been sick the last few weeks, so forgive me. But when who just died from Jurassic Park? What's his name?
Sam
Neill.
Sam Neill. He did a 7-year ad campaign. He was paid to do it. That was just purely about eating more red meat because they were worried that people were starting to eat a little less red meat in Australia. So he did a campaign for years telling people that, we evolved to eat meat. So make sure you're eating more meat every day. So yes, we love steak in Australia.
So if you love it, it's probably good there, and that's why I think like I'm not saying it's fine Outback, and for whatever the price point is, but if you're expecting like the best Aussie steak ever, I don't know if you'll get it at an Outback.
Apparently, the biggest difference, I've heard lots of people talk about this, is McDonald's, because all the patties, the meat here is all ground beef, grass-fed, like top sort of good meat they put into the burgers. So they taste quite, just like a normal burger. But apparently that's the biggest difference with the States is that the meat tastes completely different in the US for McDonald's. We use proper meat here in Australia for our McDonald's.
For McDonald's, I'll tell you that I think that anytime I've traveled or been outside the U.S. and I was somewhere and for some reason I had McDonald's, it's usually better abroad than it is here. And that's not even just I have never been to Australia, but I'll say that other places I've been, usually there's something better about it than I don't even know what the explanation is, unless like in the U.S. they just don't care and they're like, we'll give our worst material to people here.
It's the meat they use even in China. McDonald's tastes so much better than it does here.
Well, the Royale with cheese just sounds better. That's going to taste better, right? I mean,
exactly.
Would you like a
It's just
cheeseburger
cooler.
Royale with cheese? Come on.
A lot of places also, they have their own kind of dishes. Like when I was in India, I've probably mentioned this before. I was traveling in places that I was just eating vegetarian because either there was no meat, or if they said there was meat, you were probably best not eating it because you
I
didn't.
wouldn't eat that meat.
You didn't know where that meat came from, so you were
No.
like, "I'm
Or
gonna
what
skip
was
this."
still living in the meat.
A lot of good
Mhm.
questions. So
Mhm.
basically, I steered away from it. But then when I got back to it was New Delhi or whatever it is, and that's already like a more major city, even though kind of still there are a lot of dumps there. But I still enjoyed it. But in any case, at that point, I'm just like, man, I haven't had anything that's not like this kind of weird veggie stuff, and I don't know what in a while. Because I was there for a few months, so I went to McDonald's and I wanted to have a burger, but then they don't really sell the burger, so they had something instead of the Big Mac. They called it the Maharaja Mac, which I swear this is a real thing. They called it the Maharaja Mac, and and instead of meat, you have like chicken, and the other patty, I'm not sure what it was. I think I asked to replace
Mystery
whatever
meat?
it was that they were putting in there with like another chicken. So I had like a Big Mac made of chicken. But even so, all things considered, it wasn't bad. At least, if nothing else, like you can go to a place like McDonald's and even in a place like that and rely on it that it'll be halfway decent at least, if you know what I'm saying.
Do you
Yeah.
have fillet of fish?
Yes, we have filet
Oh
of fish.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I was worried there when you said
Yeah.
that chicken burger.
It's about a third of the size that it used to be. It's absolutely incredible how tiny that thing is now.
Oh yeah, it's practically a slider now, but it's yeah. We do still have those.
That's the thing with McDonald's here, though. It's so dear now. So it's as dear as like a good burger joint or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
It's
not
actually
the cheap meal anymore.
Yeah, it's cheaper to go out to a real restaurant burger place where you can get beer and a huge basket of chips and a burger. Costs the same as McDonald's, like Bad Daddy's. I
Yeah.
don't know why anybody would go to McDonald's anymore.
Yeah, I mean, people dog on chain restaurants like Chili's, but the truth is that Chili's has been working really hard to improve the quality of their food while keeping prices low. And you can go out and you can actually eat like a pretty good burger with fries and a drink and everything like that for less than you can get it at like Five Guys.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
you know-
very excited. We got our first Wendy's. And
Oh,
it's
my.
about half an hour away from me, I think. Maybe not even
Fantastic.
half an hour.
They
So I've got
have
to
a
give that a
giant-
go.
Yeah, they have a giant fish sandwich. You notice I haven't heard much about Cracker Barrel lately. Speaking of food quality.
They are treading water. That's what's
I
happening.
thought they were coming back, right? Didn't they keep their logo? And I mean, not
Right,
keep it,
they
but
said
they
they were gonna
reverted everything. Yeah,
Prove.
Yeah, but their
admitted
big
the
problem
mistake.
their big problem was the food quality, which had been good for decades, and then they started using parboiled and frozen stuff. And that's really when
Trying to save
business
money,
started
right?
dropping
Yeah.
off.
It
Yeah.
has improved somewhat. I've actually been to one recently, and it has improved some.
Yeah.
Of
Someone
all
mentioned
the
in
world,
the someone mentioned in the comments KFC. Do you guys still have KFC, Kentucky
Oh,
Fried
yeah, of
Chicken?
course.
oh yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It used to
we
be
had a
Kentucky Fried
controversy.
Chicken.
We have a controversy here, probably years ago now. And well, the controversy was in America. I'll have to find the clip and show you one day. It was an American news network doing a story on how racist we were because the West Indies used to come out here and play cricket. They don't come out here so often, but so we're a huge cricket nation. So India, Pakistan, they're all coming here. And when the West Indies were here, they were sponsored by KFC. So, and our games are quite friendly. Like everyone would like the West Indies coming here. They used to have a ball here, go out to nightclubs, and all the women would want them and things. But anyway, one of the ads for KFC was a white guy going down and sitting amongst all the supporters for the West Indies and getting them to quieten down by giving them chicken from KFC. And there's an American network did a whole story on how racist we are, that's sort of like an old racist thing to give chicken to black people, to sort of calm them down. And this network had no idea that Australia doesn't have the same history as America. Like we didn't have the slaves, we didn't do the lynchings, we didn't do any of that stuff. We had our own problems, but not with the West Indies. So yeah, we all couldn't believe that we were getting cast as racists over here from our American friends.
Yeah, the media the supply of racism has been far outstripped by the demand for it. So they'll go and find it wherever they can because
without question.
More.
Yeah.
You know what?
Wendy, well,
Sorry,
I was going to say real quick. Yeah, Wendy's used to have an unlimited salad bar. It's like my buddy and I, after hockey practice, would go there and we'd like empty the salad bar because they had chili in it. Like we get a burger or something, but we go up like just a bazillion times. You know, when you're a teenager, you can eat a ton of food.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Quickly, a few different things. First of all, I showed the Maharaja Mac.
Good.
But now,
that looked good.
I'd eat it.
Yeah, it wasn't half bad when I was there. So Kingdom 1996.
How does it smell?
It was fine. It was fine. Kingdom 1996, after all the crap that I'd been eating for a few months, it smelled pretty nice. Kingdom 1996, I discovered you guys from Mr. Brune. Well, that's great. Thank you. Mr. Brune is awesome. Mr. Brown, of course, Alliance. Kingdom 1996 for £2 says Ray Harryhausen's creations were amazing. Yes, that is true. And then Jason Webster with $2 says Foster's is kangaroo piss in a can.
Also true. Also true.
Yes. Very, very descriptive and accurate.
But you know what we haven't done yet? We didn't watch that trailer for Doomsday.
We haven't watched that yet. There were actually two other things I wanted to share real quick. One, before we walk away from discussing the Odyssey, did you see this from this evening?
I didn't see this.
John Carter, I want Elon Musk to make Mel Gibson $100 million to film an Odyssey adaptation with painstakingly historically accurate ships, armor, weapons, and casting, with dialogue taken straight from the poem and delivered in Homeric Greek. And Elon Musk replies, "I'm down."
that would be fucking epic. Oh my god!
Could you imagine what's $100 million to Elon? Nothing, right?
Yep. It's nothing. It's
he just found it in his...
the reaction from John Carter. Just holy shit. But there's some nice pitches going on here. So just says, hear me out.
This is the White Lotus season 1 again.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney is Helen of Troy, Alessandra Daddario as Athena. Okay.
They can have the traditional Greek pillow fight.
Oh, terrible.
Yes.
Elon just found $100 million in his couch. So we're good.
He sneezed and he dropped a hanky with $100 million in it.
I did think of Mel Gibson note that last.
Yes, absolutely. Apocalypto, right?
But if they had pulled off in the film that last confrontation with all the suitors, like if that had been really good, then it would have lifted the rest of the film for me. But watching that was such a letdown.
Oh, it was terrible
done. And again, this having to use the IMAX cameras, I like the focus pulling in that, slightly going in and out of focus and that, watching the film when they're talking, that reminds me of watching older films and that. But the IMAX camera for action is fucking terrible. Like the not just losing focus, but the fact that they can't move it enough or quickly enough. Like the choreography of that final fight was fucking dog shit. It was terrible and just had no thrill to it or excitement.
No. There's no tension or excitement to it at all. Like when I was watching the film, like I said, the sacking of Troy, and when they're in there trying to get the gates open and everything, even though what's happening, what's going to happen, right? They've already won the war, but it was still, in the way that it was shot and the way that the action was done, there was some tension there. It moved. The final fight, no, it's not there.
I like the guards at Troy on the wall. Then they get killed. Then they look over the wall. There's 500 soldiers there. It's like, what were those guards doing?
They weren't doing much. Yeah.
There's something else.
Because I haven't been able to talk to. I don't think I've really spoken to anyone about this film that much. So I've got so many things I want to check if I'm right. In the final fight, when the guy gets locked into the armory room with all the weapons, okay? So the blind dude locks him in.
Yeah.
Then Tom Holland walks up and just looks in the room and walks in. Like he doesn't open a door or anything. Like that.
Right.
that confused the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Was there just another opening that didn't get locked and that the guy couldn't leave by?
No, they didn't show the part when he opened the door.
Where he unlocks the door. Yeah, he just sort of is there and he sees him.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like when Matt Damon grabbed the bird in the cage too. They didn't sort of make.
They didn't show that.
No, they didn't show.
He let go. It was like, oh, okay, he's been holding the bird the whole time.
They couldn't turn the IMAX camera quickly enough. There's one part about that final scene that really bugs me, which is, and this goes to the entire portrayal of Odysseus. The entire slaughtering of the suitors was psychological warfare. Odysseus was like planning that for days, and they secretly got rid of the weapons. It wasn't this obvious thing. Telemachus goes in the middle of the night, and everything the beggar is doing, he's really messing with their heads. So when the time comes for it to actually happen, they're completely blindsided. It shows his ability for strategic thinking. And they really never showed any of that for the whole movie. He's just an old, tired guy, not a brilliant but cocky soldier who, is his own worst enemy. And somebody mentions, I think this was Mahler, like they had to make the Cyclops sympathetic. So as they were leaving, it's like that was my pond comment. When you change the story, it's like throwing a stone in a pond and it ripples.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with those ripples with more stones. And so when they were leaving, it's like, well, we have to make the Cyclops the good guy. Let's just have Odysseus shoot him for no reason with an arrow. And I'm like,
well,
exactly.
That was supposed to be him saying, my name is Odysseus. And
it was also
a way of doing it.
Remember that there's continually through the movie, there's this comparison that we get multiple times, that there's a difference between a fight and a hunt, right? And he plucks his bow to let the prey know that he's there because he wants it to be like fair or whatever. So that was him plucking his bow. That was him letting him know that he was there. But at the same time, you're right. Yeah. It was there in place of him saying, when you speak of who blinded you. No, it was Odysseus, right? It is in place of that, but it doesn't actually serve the same purpose because that purpose is almost completely missing from in the film. Because that's the idea. He is the real lesson, like we were talking about it earlier, is that yes, he's brilliant, he's gifted, he's a warrior, he's very, very smart. He's uses his mind as a tool in battle, but he's also incredibly prideful. And
cocky.
He's so cocky, and that is what does him in. He's actually he's told in the story that he's been lucky, right? Until he essentially boasts to the gods, "Look what I did! Ha ha!" Suckers, and then they bring him down. They come in, and the gods, bring him back to humility. But then that makes him a better man in the end. It makes him a better king in the end.
He's got flaws.
If you look at Sean Bean, the few scenes he had in Troy, he plays that combination of brilliant and cocky so utterly perfectly. Mm-hmm. It's like just the performance is so much better. You can tell he knows what he's doing, but he's also going to make sure he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and then getting back to that last fight scene too. I mean, you've got that great build up, and you're waiting for him to shoot the arrow through the axes, but then the fight is really a dud. Like you get the first two deaths are good. And in the book or the poem, he kills Antonius first, but in the movie they're gonna wait.
But in this he's a total coward standing in the corner going, fight him with the axes.
Every time they went back
with the spears,
the shields. I started laughing because it was just such a.
It was dumb.
It was so dumb, but also it didn't fit his character. Like I know he didn't. He's been sitting there all that time drinking the house wine, but like as a young man, he was sort of wanted to go off to war and be part of this fight. I think giving him a bit of dignity at the end, like making him think he could take him on and then fails miserably would have been so much more meaningful than sort of just screaming out from behind the pillars. It didn't really suit the rest of his character that he'd been in the film. Like, he was keen to get into a fight or say something. I just really hated that, him shouting out from behind the pillars and running around like a girl.
Yeah.
And wait, in the poem, he's setting the trap. He disarms them. He has Penelope issue the challenge. He seals the exits. He does the first strike with the bow, but it's a coordinated barrage with his other servants and Telemachus. Then they go into melee combat. Because here he's like killing 100 guys with a bow one at a time. Nobody's thinking to rush them.
At close range, which we know bows are extremely effective at close range.
That shot people been sharing of him just firing it off at chest, like just at sort of gut level.
Yeah.
In the cinema, I was like,
shooting it from the hip.
That looks terrible. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah. It makes it look like he got lucky instead of he was brilliant and seasoned warrior. So,
and that last scene where he's surrounded by everyone, it looks like he's got like a broken arrow or something. Why didn't everyone just rush him and kill him at that point? And then his son drops his sword down, but it looked very hokey, like,
when he starts spinning around with the axes. Like, that's what I thought. This guy does not know how to do action or a fight. So probably, can we just get Mel Gibson to just stop the film for a second and get him to go? In Wayne's World, where they asked for a better actor and Charlton Heston comes in. We needed to just stop for a minute and get Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Then the final fight also has the major issue of basically the kung fu movie trope of like only one guy ever attacks you at a time. Yeah.
And that bow must be 120 pounds. Like, it was that hard to string, but he's plucking it without even trying. He's pulling like, no, that string is going to feel solid to most of us mortals. Like, you wouldn't even be able to draw it, much less pluck on it like that.
Yep. Okay, let's.
Can I complain about one other thing?
One more thing, go for it.
No,
the horse.
Yes,
why
the
they
horse
set
is
up
absurd.
the whole.
It's absurd.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw the Outback photo you put up.
Sorry, we've already talked about this. Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. I want that every time I'm here. As if they like the risk of them just pushing the horse into the ocean or setting it on fire. Like, there was no believable thing that they would go, okay, now we have to drag this thing back to the city and stand it up. Like, it was such a lazy way of getting that bit into the story. Like, they're all in there, in the half in the water, which doesn't make sense at all, drowning, waiting and being quiet, hoping they'll come and take this horse back to the castle. It was so shit.
Yeah, because you got to make the design look cool, but not practical at all. It's like, or at least you're going to build the horse, above the high water mark, so you don't. And everyone in the scrunched in that one section. It's like the horse is always depicted as being, on its all four legs, on wheels or something.
And thankfully, not putting the sword through the top. You could easily see there was room to duck down, and like they're all sort of ducking. One guy's just standing as straight as possible.
Yeah.
Like,
there's room to duck, and the guy doesn't and gets stabbed. But
thankfully they had Sinon, the greatest soldier who ever lived, who convinced them to take the horse and bring it in instead of just burning it.
The Mr. Peabody movie did it way better, where when they jumped out the back, it looked like the horse was shitting.
That part with Paige was so cringy,
terrible.
And the movie starts with it. Like, the first shot you see is like Travis Scott, and then the next shot you see like Elliot Page.
Oh, it was like a test. That's what I said in my video. It was like, we're going to show you all the fucking woke shit in one go, and if you can take it, then we'll get into the movie. It was the Elliot Page thing, like people justifying this, even arguing that there's Indians and Asian guys playing Greeks. There's no argument there. Like, if I find that really distracting, that's really distracting. Like, it just is. You're taking me out of the movie. And then people online want to scream that that's you're racist, or it's not even worth saying that, but just scream that it's not even a problem in that. It's ridiculous. That tiny little woman running around, or we're not allowed to say that, are we? It's just ridiculous. Like, there's no excuse for it. And then people go, well, the film's not even woke. And it's like, that's woke. If you're
Yeah,
leading into the film with that, if that's your cast, you've already hit the woke quota. And like I'm saying, I didn't hate the film. It was fine, but there's bits in it that are just ridiculous, and people justify it. It's just such a load of shit.
Weren't people only 5 feet tall back then?
No, I've never even seen women in the army run like that soldier did. Like, that soldier is supposed to be a man, ran more like a girl than girl soldiers I've seen.
It was such cringe, the running. It was so awful.
Have you ever catch Padme running in the Clone Wars? Oh God, or is it one of the movies when she's running across the sand? I think it's the Clone Wars. And the same thing I'd seen it like 2 nights in a row. And I'm telling everyone, like, watch Padme running here. She's definitely not an athlete. This is like one of the worst runs ever.
Well, there's plenty of films like Aliens and that have women in the military or as Marines and stuff, and they look fine. Like,
gosh, damn, I wouldn't want to be in the same business with Vasquez from Aliens, right? Like, I'm not touching her.
Taken for a man, no, have you? It's one of the greatest lines ever.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Elliot Page was running like the 10-year-old Princess Leia in Kenobi.
Yes,
that's a good example. But I want to say that in Attack of the Clones, the one thing that they did, though, they knew maybe that Natalie Portman can't do much running, but they made her like shirt that you could see her belly button. You know what I mean? They kind of made it so she had a shirt that's surprising that she would wear in that situation.
Yes.
Yeah, Elliot Page didn't know they were in the horse, did she?
No, that was the betrayal.
I want to see the setup to them building the horse, all getting inside while they're distracting him, her, they.
They didn't know it was
they don't know that everyone's in there.
They didn't know it was a transforming horse. They didn't know that the horse could transform. To watch my language. The horse was not set, just shall we say? Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny that character felt deceived by the other people. Like they were trying to say one thing. They weren't presenting themselves.
Of all characters,
honestly,
there's something hidden inside.
And it's just interesting that was the character that was so disappointed for whatever reason.
If you take this horse home, something might pop out that you weren't expecting.
That is. I love how we're dancing around the issue, yet we're attacking it head on at the same time.
Yeah, well, we don't want you to get demonetized. And
I
this
think
is
this
a family show.
This is exactly how every issue should be addressed, like what we were talking now.
Shades of the Hunger Game. Shades of the Crying Game.
Yeah.
The Crying Game, yeah.
It's it's an inverted version.
Yeah, my wife made me go see that movie too.
Oh God! No!
I had to go see the Crying. She's like, she wanted to go. I'm like, well, you're watching it, Clint. You got to watch one of my movies. And then I picked Outlaw Josie Wales, and she's like, I really liked it. I'm like, damn it, you were supposed to hate it. Make me watch the Crying Game. Like,
yeah, Mark, you're still ahead because your entire house and your business is one giant man cave, and she lets you have all that stuff. So you have a keeper.
I worked wonders. Yeah, I don't know how I did it, but it's amazing. Yep.
We should look at the time. We should definitely get to this Doomsday trailer. But I have one more thing. I'm going to give full credit to Tom from Midnight's Edge for pointing this out earlier today on X. But I could not go without showing this. Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
But is that like a scalper? Or is that actually the real price?
Look,
I saw that. I like that
pre-order price guarantee. That means that this is shipping from Amazon.
They're so desperate to get money. They've worked out how many people like the film and like how much they think they can just milk out of these last few fans. Who the fuck's buying that?
They got to make back all the money they lost on the box office, right?
Yeah, they could sell 10,000 of those, and it's not going to make a dent in their debt.
But it's unreal, isn't it? Like the conversation about the Odyssey is like going back to Last Jedi days. Like it's just fun, crazy. It's nonstop online. No one gives a fuck about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Like no one, even the fans aren't talking about. Like that's the saddest thing. Like Star Wars, that's where it is. Like no one cares at all, and we're all having this conversation about the Odyssey instead. It blows my mind.
Right, because that's it. There's nothing. there's nothing in Star Wars for anybody anymore. Not for the people that once liked it. Not for the people that once liked it and liked talking about it online. Not for people that even want to joke about it. Not for the shills. There's nobody. There's nobody left to even pay attention to what's happening. in
It
Star
shows
Wars.
how gutless they are, because they could have done 3 Rey films or something, and all the people that loved the sequels would have been so happy. You know, they probably would have made money too doing the Rey film, but they're so gutless and confused and don't know what to do. They released a TV show at the cinema instead of bloody paying Daisy Ridley to come back for another film. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, that film's completely dead, right? I mean, we're never going to see that. The Ray
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
But they
not
just-
that I wanted to see it, but
No,
that's a great
exactly,
point,
but-
too, because they'd put down all this money, and KK saying, "Yeah, this is the future," and we're doing the theme parks. I mean, I went to see Galaxy's Edge. It was so depressing as a someone who saw Star Wars at age 8 and grew up with it. Like,
Well, some
Don't
people
mention the
will-
hotel.
the hotel. Some people, the Star Cruiser, whatever
Star
that was.
Cruiser,
Yeah.
yep.
Came and went, and we just don't mention that again.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that is I'm a scout leader, and one of the scouts in my troop went to that thing like 3 times. I was talking to him again this summer, and they freaking loved it. They thought it was amazing. But the problem, one of the huge problems was how expensive the damn thing was. It was ridiculously expensive. And
Yeah,
but
how
he
do
said,
scouts afford to go like
Well,
3 times in a row?
the dad's in finance. We'll just leave it at that. But
Yeah.
And I'm like, ask him about it. He's like, yeah, because it was like, and the dad was saying it was like being in a dinner theater for the weekend, and they loved it. But for me, I'm like, it would have been cringe not having the original characters. But
But that
who
money,
thought of that? Yeah,
like
the
at the
idea.
time we were saying you could fly to Bali or Thailand or somewhere and stay in a beautiful resort for the week, or get locked up in a little prison and have theatre club kids bloody singing at you. One footage they were showing, they were doing line dancing in the foyer. Fuck me, I'd kill someone if I paid all that money and they started line dancing.
I couldn't. I can't argue with them because they were there and I wasn't. But I was like, but the price killed it too. But if imagine if they'd done like, you could have gone on the start of Star Wars and you help R2D2 to get the plans out to Obi-Wan Kenobi or something, like you're in that first mission. Could you imagine all the geeks and nerds that have, like, even if it was really expensive, like saved up a lot of money, like, come on, dear, can't we go? I want to be, Luke Skywalker for the weekend, even though I'm 100 pounds overweight and have no hair.
Easy
That
like
would
Ray-
they would have made.
Have an outdoor
Ray-
little Ewok village, and and they've got a little ride that you get on, and you're on one of the little motorbike things that goes around the trees and stuff with all the sound effects.
Yeah.
That I'd be there doing it, pretending that I was in, Return of the Jedi. But what they chose to do. Anyway, we're getting off track. We're never going to see this trailer if I stay.
Never.
No, but I want one comment that in Starfighter they think that Rey is going to make an appearance there at some point.
Yep.
And that'll be their saving face.
It's been really heavily
implied,
really heavily rumored that that the ending is that he is trying to get this Force user to an academy that is run by Rey.
Don't worry, Rey will return in Avengers Doomsday.
This system they have of that the ending is just the whole film is a setup for another story we're never going to get. You know what I mean? Like they'll do that, and at the end it'll be Rey, and it's like, just if you want to do that, just do the Rey story. I sound like I'm a Rey fan now. I can't stand Rey, but it's just like they just can't leave it alone, or don't have her at all, and just give us a complete story that doesn't have anything to do with her. Like they just can't. They have to have a foot in each sort of lane, like just because they never know which way they're heading.
It turns the film into nothing but a commercial for the next movie.
Yeah. It doesn't actually have an ending. It has, something else. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that film does, though. Like Ryan Reynolds, he's a bit. I suppose everyone's hit and miss these days. There's no real star that just can guarantee
Gosling, I
people
think,
in there.
Ryan
But
Gosling?
yeah, what did I say?
Ryan Reynolds.
Gosling.
Yes, that'd
They're
be
the same
weird.
person.
Reynolds. Yeah.
Are they the
I
same?
mean, it's
person,
direct.
basically?
Isn't it directed by the guy that directed the
Yeah, I think it is. I think it
Deadpool
is.
movies?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that does, though.
Honestly, I got to be honest. I think it's going to be a total dud. I think we're looking at Mandalorian numbers for this movie next year because, it's going to be whatever 50th anniversary of Star Wars, whatever. But they're bringing a Star Wars movie. This will be the first Star Wars movie that has no connection to any previous characters. Nothing. It's an entirely new Star Wars film. It's not tied to any previous events, any previous characters, anything. And I think it's just going to be a dud. I think people want to see a continuation of the stories they've seen before. They want to see the same characters. I don't know that it's going to perform, but we'll have to wait and see.
Star Wars is so depressing now. Like, it's just The Mandalorian Grogu. That was just a depressing, horrible film. Like, it's just ugly. One of the ugliest films I've ever seen. But there's no joy to it. There's no fantasy. Like, they're just dead. Like, it's all ugly and horrible. Like, who wants to go see? All the shows are the bloody same. Yeah, I'll be surprised if it does well, but you never know.
Star Wars is mostly dead.
Yeah.
I've been saying that a long time now.
It's mostly, but I mean, someone could bring, it can be brought back though. It's got that fan base that's just waiting for it, but it's just unbelievable. I just can't. If you put me in a time capsule and took me back to 1977 and told me what was going to happen to Star Wars, and I wouldn't care about Star Wars. After.
But people say it can come back, but you wonder, they've burnt so many bridges and they've burnt so many characters.
Truly.
Like, it's not like they've saved Darth Vader or something. Like,
right.
They've brought him back in so many shows now, the Obi-Wan show, and that was pathetic. So it's like, I don't know if they can bring it back anymore. Like, if they just didn't do anything for like a decade and then brought it back, so I could see that happening. But if they keep dribbling it out like this, I just can't see it ever coming back.
No, I don't think it'll ever be what it once was. I don't think so.
No.
That's so sad, yeah. God.
Speaking of something that will never be what it once was, we're getting 2 new MCU films this year. Of course, Spider-Man is coming just a handful of days from now. And right now, looking really good, at least in the early buzz. But also, we have finally a trailer for Doomsday, which is coming out in December, not moving the date. They decided they're going to stick with it because somehow they think that this movie is going to manage to draw enough people in, even though it's going to be competing with Dune 3. So what do we got going on with this film here?
Are they both open the same weekend?
Same day.
Oh, same day. Oh, okay.
Same day.
Something Spider-Man. Something we may not be able to deter before this day is done.
Is that Dr. Doom speaking?
Faced with an unthinkable decision.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
So yeah, that's supposed to be Dr. Doom speaking. It's as I jokingly said the other day, it's Robert Downey Jr. doing his best Werner Herzog. Is what it sounds like to me.
Or Borat.
Or potentially, yeah.
I've fought with many warriors in my time.
And there's one.
Than all of us put together.
Yeah, this is quite the crew that we've got here. We have our
Pedro Pascal is one of the great warriors. He's
that's the new warriors.
The new Avengers something.
Look how tiny Yelena looks. My God, they need to carry her in a kitty crate.
Yeah, I know. Red Guardian.
Oh, that's Red Guardian wearing blue.
And then, of course, we've got U.S. agent or whatever his name is going by now.
Look how shit those costumes are.
This is supposed to be Ghost, I believe. I'm not sure who's on the other side there, but that was that Bucky that's back behind. Yeah.
Yeah, Elena's really as small as
tiny.
Elliot.
She is tiny.
Yeah, because Ghost is so much popular than Bucky. Let's go ahead and have her cover him.
Yeah, yeah. But then we have
Sam Wilson not wearing the Falcon costume since Captain America's back.
Oh, but
he's still
not
Captain
back.
America.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, then we've got the Fantastic Four up here.
Look at that beautiful Australian. Just that Australian just taking over. He's got the best costume. He's
Easily.
like twice as big as every other man in there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. He makes me. I have to double check that I'm straight when I watch that guy.
And they died. died facing enemies.
Namor is
Not
coming
Namor.
back. Why?
Please save me.
Why of all the
And
characters?
they died.
Black Pantress.
Why? Now I don't even care if they. I mean, she sucks, but the female Black Panther, obviously that character's gonna. But why Namor?
Oh,
What?
Yeah, and that was I as a
didn't Thor
longtime
used to have
Marvel fan.
blonde? Didn't Thor used to have blonde hair?
He did.
Yeah, he did actually.
But I mean, the affront that they did to Namor, Jack Kirby's creation, there is just
it's terrible.
horrific. I was watching Wakanda Forever, and I watched the funeral, and then I turned it off when Namor. I can't take it. I can't take
That
it. Just
that whole
killing me.
movie is just a disaster. Literally, my son, we turned that one on. We didn't see it in the theaters, but we turned it on to watch it. And my son watched like the first 20 minutes or something. He's like, I don't care anymore. Can we just move on? Can we just watch something else? I'm like, okay,
when I went
sure.
to see that, me and a friend went. We were the only two people in the cinema, and we took
yeah.
drinks in and got drunk, and we had a blast because we were just like laughing, talking out loud, like we're at home. Like it was, just we had the best time. And I came out thinking that film wasn't that bad, but it was just because we could be as loud as we wanted, laughing and joking about the film.
They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one.
So we did get a shot of Cyclops there. James
Looking
Marsden looks really good, honestly. I gotta say, actually looks really good. Here we have Shang-Chi and Gambit.
And the worst Gambit ever. Bring
Terrible.
back Taylor Kitsch.
Terrible Gambit. Yeah. Them battling it out, which, oh boy, yay. Heroes fighting heroes. That's just what we want to see. That's the best version of everything.
Oh, I can't
Everything that
stand
they
him.
sacrifice will be for nothing
EVA.
if
Yep.
we do not stand together.
Why is the
Put
thing
aside
so
your
small?
petty squabbles.
He's actually not
he's-
that tall in the comics.
Yeah, he's
Depending on the
Your pet-
depiction, but he's like
Oh.
6'2", 6 feet.
Look at that face.
What happened to Mystique?
everyone has been saying, oh, well, she's an older woman. Why are you judging her? I'm like, I'm not judging her as an older woman. I'm judging the absolute abomination of this makeup and this hairdo.
Plus, I don't want older women in my films. Young, hot looking. That's it.
Yeah.
It's simple.
And also,
Who's the actress?
oh, this is Rebecca Romijn.
Romijn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, they
but-
brought Rebecca. Oh, they brought Rebecca back.
Yeah.
They got the costume designers from Superman to come in and do all the costumes.
Oh yeah,
How's
the
talk to
costume.
the manager haircut?
How old is Rebecca now? God bless her. I mean, is
She's in her
late
50s.
I mean,
All right.
first of all, with some CGI, they could have, or makeup, they
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done better than this.
Or they could have just gotten a different actress. You do know that Mystique is, in fact, a shapeshifter.
Yeah,
she,
there's no.
she could just choose to not look old.
Yeah, there's no shortage of Victoria's Secrets models that could play Mystique.
Yeah.
But it's
Or
also the
do
hair
some
and makeup.
CGI or
Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
something.
saying. I'm not upset. Actually, not upset that they brought back Rebecca Romijn. I don't mind. I don't mind that she's a little bit older. I'm saying this makeup is an atrocity. I mean,
The hairdo
compare
is the
this to
worst.
the
But they did
original
the same
makeup.
hair on Captain Marvel. They think
Yeah.
that there's some progression. They go from long hair to this fucking atrocity on their head.
Yeah.
And makes them more mature or something. It looks terrible.
To
Right,
be
and
fair,
men don't
women
like women.
women do that.
Men generally don't like women with hairdos like that. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to
Oh,
admit it,
she
but men are not fans of this.
she looks
but
like a
to be fair,
shape-shifting Karen. She
women-
really does.
Women love short hair because they're tricking their friends into being less competition for them in the marketplace. So to be fair, I mean, women do love that short hair stuff.
So
Right.
you're saying not on themselves, but on other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
But
They get
yeah,
talked into
so there, if you go out and you look, you can find some details, some pictures of this full costume. She is quite literally covered from her neck to her wrists and all the way to her ankles. There's a tiny little window.
Look, we just have to
In the
admit we're not
suit,
allowed to
it's
have
absurd.
fun anymore. People aren't allowed
Yeah.
to be sex anymore.
No.
If you like
God
ankles,
forbid
though,
we have a sex scene in a film.
Yeah,
Any
if
sort
you
of
have
film these days.
if you have an ankle fetish, though, you're in luck.
Oh,
So
my God.
there you go.
But we're talking about a character that when she was introduced originally, she was naked.
Right.
Just wandering around naked.
Yeah,
They could have at the
God
very
bless her.
least done something that was a little more connected with the typical outfit that you saw her in the comics, right? Where at least she's showing some
Yeah,
leg or
right.
something. But no,
that's that white outfit,
Yeah,
that
the white
very
sort of
slinky dress,
slinky dress thing, yeah,
whatever you want to call whatever she's wearing. But
Yeah.
well, it's the same thing as the Thing too. As you can tell from my avatar, I'm a massive Ben Grimm fan. But they have them all covered up because the CGI is cheaper. This way, the makeup's cheaper. It's less work for the actress, so they can just put this bodysuit on, this costume on, and it's a lot
Admittedly,
less makeup. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing looks blobby.
even the
Looks
makeup.
muscular.
The makeup that they are still doing here, compare that to
looks
the
terrible.
makeup for the original Mystique in the X-Men films. This is awful.
Yeah,
It
25
literally
years
looks like
ago.
she's just got tattoos on her face or something.
Yeah, 25 years ago, and it looked better. And the
Yeah.
Thing doesn't look muscular. He just looks, doughy. He looks like Stretch Armstrong or something.
Well, because he never very rarely wears,
shirt.
upper covering. Yeah, sometimes
yeah.
he had like the wrestling outfit he would wear, with the but rarely he would wear the shirt. But they do that because of the CG. It's
Yeah.
cheaper
Yeah, the
CGI.
CG is easier. Yeah.
So I just watched The Living Daylights. I rewatched it. I will make a short hair exception for Carrie Lowell in that movie. Oh my God, she's so hot.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Squabbles. Presume nothing except this. If you return.
I'm guessing we get to see.
Presume nothing
We
except
get to
this.
see these two die again in another film. That's
Yeah,
be
didn't he
the
die in
fourth,
Logan?
the fourth time he's died in a Marvel film.
It's so
Is this
weird
his
in this
last
film.
role
They're
ever?
trying to milk emotion with no setup at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like with Endgame and Infinity War, especially Infinity War, like there was such a build up over the years, and they're just trying to step straight back in there with no build up whatsoever. And like you said, half these people have already seen die, or they've retired like 5 times. But these ads are trying to drag this emotion. Like why is he crying? Like, do we really give a fuck anymore?
Yeah. I do believe we saw him die in the third X-Men, right?
And in Wolverine.
And
Wolverine.
he died in Logan, and he died.
Logan,
He died in
Wanda. Sorry,
he died,
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
too.
the Doctor
Yeah,
Strange
Masters of
Multiverse
the-
of Madness. Yep.
Doctor
And
Strange, Masters of the Universe.
Yes. Did he also die in one of the futures in Days of Future Past?
Future Past.
He probably did.
I think
Well,
Magneto
didn't everyone
did.
died in
but-
that?
I know Magneto did. I don't remember if Xavier did or not. But anyway, yeah. So this is at least like the fourth or maybe fifth time he's been killed. He will have died in the MCU.
Well, it's a different
Like
universe.
after
though.
A different
Logan.
universe, but still, like it's ridiculous.
No,
But after Logan,
You return. Who will return has brothers and sisters.
why
Mark
did they
my words.
recast Black Panther? What a missed.
It's Dr. Manhattan.
Going to need
Yep.
a miracle. Hey, pal. It's not possible.
You're old.
So this has absolutely no weight to it whatsoever because we were already shown that he's coming back because they did that stupid little preview
Yeah,
with him
unfortunately.
earlier. So if we hadn't known, or at the very least hadn't actually seen him here, but no, we've already, it's already been there. We already knew he was going to be part of this. We already knew he was coming back. Steve Rogers will return, right? Of course, he's not going to be Captain America. Again, I will lay my $20 on the table. You will not see him in a Captain America suit, and you will not hear him referred to as Captain America in the film.
I like how they do that. They create their own fuck up that repeats itself. Like now they can't bring him back, so he's just in a t-shirt and jeans because they need him, but they can't bring him back.
Someone will say, yeah.
It's like having Robert Downey Jr. Like there's no other actors in the world, but you've got to get Robert Downey Jr. back because that's the only time we had any success.
Yeah, where did he get his old hammer back? I thought he was using Stormbreaker.
The hammer was repaired.
Yeah, it got put back together.
Yeah, but didn't his daughter use that one? Or I don't know.
Yeah. That was in Love and Blunder. That was then the hammer got repaired, and then Jane had the hammer.
Yeah, someone will say something about it's good to have you back, Captain America, and he'll say, "No, it's not me now. I'm just Steve." That will be in the film. He will wear this. He is Steve Rogers returns as guy in black shirt.
Yeah,
because in the comics, I mean, he's Captain America's disappeared or changed his mantle plenty of times, and Falcon did take over. And God, it was written by Tokiti Coates, and oh my God, those Falcon Cap comics were atrocious, and I bought them and read them. And but then Cap always comes back as Cap, right? He's quote unquote he's dead or he's somewhere. But even Marvel's not dumb enough in the comic books to have him not come back as Cap.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they
Falcon
can't
became Falcon again.
Yep, they cannot do it. They cannot allow a black man to give up the mantle.
He can't lose his job to a white guy. But I'm sorry if every superhero on the planet and the immediate galactic vicinity isn't powerful enough to fight this threat and he needs a miracle, Steve Rogers is not going to be that miracle. I'm sorry. You need to have Thanos's brother or father, like
the Beyonder.
The Watcher. You need a Celestial to come back and help fight that.
The Sentry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sentry needs to be there. Assume he was included in the amount of people that they're not nearly powerful enough for. I don't know. It just, they always do that. They just make it bigger. They kick it up a notch and everything just sort of, nothing is really coherent and sticks together. They just go bigger every time until you don't have any idea what you're looking at.
I want to see this Thor next to the Thor from Love and Thunder that was riding around on his axe like it was a broom. God. Jane and all this shit. Like, I want to see him act like that in this film. Like, just keep that personality through this whole film where everyone else is dead straight.
God save me.
You can tell that they wanted to give him a more serious vibe here. He complained after Thor Love and Thunder and said that he didn't like that they made a mockery of the character. And in this trailer, I feel like they're already setting it up that they're not trying to make him a joke.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're backpedaling on that.
Well,
character.
of course, what he is here in this trailer narrating is telling us what a big threat that Doom is. Just what an incredible threat he is. Although I think this is a trick. I don't think he's actually talking about Doom. I believe he is talking about the collapse of the universes at this point, right?
Whatever, yeah.
That he's somehow spoken to, he's spoken to Loki, maybe. Or he's found out about Loki's death or whatever, and so at some point. But yeah, I'm not sure at this point that he understands that Dr. Doom is the threat, and that's who he's talking about. But he's telling us about the threat. We don't actually get to see that Doom is dangerous. He's just
now.
Telling
is this
us.
tied into Secret Wars somehow? With I mentioned Beyonder before, so I wonder if we're just going to see the Beyonder at the very end.
No, was Beyonder part of the 2012 Secret Wars or whatever?
Well, not the new Garbaggio, but
because that's what this is based on. Don't think about the old Secret Wars. This is based on the new version of the Secret Wars, where they smash a bunch of universes together and then they pull out the characters they want to keep. That's what we're going to get. So, and we've already heard plenty of leaks about exactly what this story is. And that's where we end up is that Doom sits on the throne and he creates a battle world that's just made up of all these different universes and characters all smashed together. And none of them know who they are. And that's where we get to start off with
Battle World.
And we get Battle World from that in the next movie.
And then, like in Secret Invasion or Secret Invasion, Secret as Clobby called it. Maybe Emilia Clarke, isn't she the most powerful person in the Marvel universe?
Yeah, her and Captain Marvel
character again.
Yeah, I would love to see them put Brie Larson in Miss Marvel's classic costume and see how likable she is then.
They totally forgot about Brie Larson and Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, Brie Larson has no interest whatsoever in coming back to the role. So I would imagine her character is just persona non grata.
Nobody's ever going to mention her. Some late guy, Long Island 90 for $5 says, new Avengers are cooked. Thor and Sentry are the only ones that may be able to do anything. However, I'm kind of glad Doom is actually a threat, unlike all other previous Doom movie versions, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing is we never got that buildup of Doom as an amazing villain. Like, we should have had Doom should have been in the first FF movie. We had 3 or 4 movies, or have a build up to Doom, and then maybe you do Galactus as the huge, massive threat. But we didn't get that whole. We were kind of just stuck with the Fantastic Four as an existing group. No character development.
All we know about Doom is he's a little creepy when it comes to children. Like, that's not really a good build up.
Yeah, you never get that whole background. It's horrendous. As an FF diehard fan, it's such bad writing. You're a bunch of morons. Hire me. I'll write something. I mean, you got the stories are right there that you just have to adapt. And then I have to correct who I said Jack Kirby created Namor. It was Bill Everett. But I was just checking to see if Phantom Outsider was paying attention to what I was saying.
Very quickly, before I forget, I think I didn't read this before, from Jason Webster for $5. Elliot Page's tattoo in Fantasy Island. Look, boss, the plane.
The horse, the bus.
But back to whatever you were showing, Professor. So thank you for the super chat.
I just said we have actually a follow-up super chat to that as well.
Oh, we do?
Or not super chat, I mean Rumble Rant.
Oh, we do? I must have missed it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's just a couple minutes ago.
Here, I got it. Another $5 from some late guy, Long Island 90. The only thing I like about this at all is Doom is actually powerful. However, I wish Doom could get the Thanos treatment where they hyped him up for almost a decade. Doom deserves more. And yeah, that is kind of an issue.
100%. Yeah, you shouldn't just have Doom pop in there and be this instant bad guy. That's why Rise of the Silver Surfer really didn't work, and then they had the Galactus Cloud, and the new Fantastic Four movie didn't work. You didn't get that build up.
And there's another thing that's really not going to work in this too, is that if the plot leaks are true, which it seems like they probably are, we are going to know that Doom is the bad guy all the way through the movie. But the characters will not. So every time the characters are all going to be like, oh, let's work with Doom. He's here to help. But we already know he's the bad guy. So we're going to be looking at these characters that all look like morons for this whole movie because they think that they're trying to help Doom with his plan or whatever, when everyone there, even people who know nothing about comic books, is going to know that Dr. Doom is a bad guy.
Right?
I mean, just his name would suggest it.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Doom. If you can't figure that out, then...
Right.
You remember in Iron Man where Tony had a private jet where there was pole dancing as he flew home?
Yes.
I
remember when films were fun and they'd blow shit up?
And it had the original Rhodey, which is the better Rhodey. I've always liked Terrence Howard better in that role than Don.
He's a weirdo, but he's better. He's way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
I like him as an actor. He's just crazy as a cut snake, but
yeah. And when you had Black Widow in the first movie, and Tony's like, "I want one," happy. Like, could you imagine that
used
line?
To be allowed to have fun, things were fun to go see. Now
and Scarlet,
miserable.
Scarlet was so upset about how people, noticed how pretty she was and how good she looked. It's like, you're one of the prettiest women in the world and you can act. It's like, we don't want to see an ugly, fat Black Widow. It's, shut up already. I can imagine what, that's why you're a movie star, because you've got that combination. And
and that's also the whole point of the character of Black Widow. She used her femininity as a weapon.
Yeah,
right?
can't have that. Can't have that anymore. Now, I think Don Cheadle is a phenomenal actor, but he's not right for Rhodey.
He looks too old. He's just got an old head.
Yeah. Terrence was he's been around a very long time, and he's made some great movies. But Terrence Howard nailed it. I know there was some.
Was it a fight about money, or what was it?
Yeah, it was money.
And then they just destroyed his character with the Secret Invasion TV show, where you find out that he's been a Skrull. Even at Tony Stark's funeral, he was a Skrull.
And they never fixed this. They never corrected it. It's just they're pretending as though it never happened.
Yep.
I'd like to pretend it never happened. Either.
I also would like to pretend it never happened.
I didn't finish watching that series either. Like, if I can't believe it, it's like you told 12-year-old me there's going to be a Secret Invasion TV show, in Marvel Comics someday, and you're not even going to want to finish watching it. I would have been like, I'm going to rip up all your
She-Hulk just comics. That bad.
You're lying.
Awful,
yeah. Jason Webster's comment is great. Just imagine what the popcorn bucket for this crap is going to look like.
Yeah, just read that.
Yeah.
By the way, just a quick comment. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed, you should do it right now. And on the Rumble side, if you feel like dropping a comment in the live chat, that really always helps us. So keep all of that in mind. That was just, I had to say that. Now you guys gentlemen can continue talking.
At the end, can you shrink us both down so it looks like we're going into the Outback Steakhouse?
I think maybe I can. Hold on.
And now, if Outback would like to sponsor Price of Reason Studios,
yes, that's the sponsor you should get.
Yeah,
you should stream from in the Outback. This is where the show should come from. Bye.
Get us some blooming onion.
Did we finish the trailer? Was that the end of
that? That's it. That is it. It's a very, very brief teaser. Apparently, this is the same one that was shown with some more finished effects. The same that was shown at CinemaCon months ago. So as to why they waited so long to release it, who knows?
Was that the one that kept everyone's channel nuked or whatever? People kept trying to post it.
Yeah.
So that's the one. Okay.
Yeah, seems like it.
Angelo DD says Terrence Howard and RDJ didn't get along. That's actually not what I heard. I heard that they did get along, and basically, according to Terrence Howard, and again, that guy is kind of a character himself, so I take everything with a grain of salt, but according to him, he had kind of a pact with Robert Downey Jr. that they're going to look out for each other and things like that, and then when the sequel came along and they were trying to reduce Terrence Howard's payment and raise Robert Downey's Jr.'s payment, he felt that Robert Downey Jr. didn't have his back. So
his version isn't that he asked for more money; it's that they reduced his money from what he thought he was going to be getting.
I mean, I really don't know all the details. I know one thing is that the one thing I'll give Terrence Howard, when they made the movie Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. was considered a liability. Nobody wanted him. So he took a significant pay cut, and they had to do all this kind of insurance and guarantees and vouching and all this stuff that everybody had to vouch for him because they had no faith in him. And at the same time, Terrence Howard had been off the heels of that get rich or die trying hard out there for a pimp or whatever it was. He was in that movie and he had some credibility. So I think that he was given more money, significantly more money for that first Iron Man than Robert Downey Jr. was. He was probably the most quote unquote bankable star at that moment. Maybe Jeff Bridges too, but I'm saying he was considered a hot item at that moment. And when he joined the cast, but then after Iron Man did well, suddenly they weren't so telling him that he's hot property. They were going to Robert Downey Jr. and saying, okay, how much do you want for the next movie or whatever it is? And then they were making a great deal with him. I don't know if they reduced Terrence Howard's fee or not. Maybe he just felt that they were paying Robert Downey Jr. more than they were paying him. I don't really know. But I think that Howard made a mistake, and he should have stayed with the role.
Yeah, he did Hustle and Flow and what's the one, Get Rich or Die Trying?
What did I say? Get Rich or Die Trying? Which one is that one?
No, that one too. That was 2005. But I think Hustle and Flow was
No, Hustle
more
and Flow
famous.
is the one. What's Get Rich and Die Trying? I think I invented a movie.
No,
that either doesn't
that's
exist.
a real movie. No, that's a real movie. He was in it. He played that in 2005 as well as Hustle and Flow. I'm just saying, I think Hustle and Flow was the more popular movie. That's
you're
all.
correct as to Foe. When I was thinking, when I said Hard Out There for a Pimp, that was Hustle and Flow. Because Hustle and Flow, he's trying to be a rapper, and his big hit is "It's Hard Out There for a Pimp." This is very cringe, but this is all. I'm not making it up. I'm not making this up. There was a movie, and they had
was
a
that the
song
song across the end credits of the Odyssey?
Oh, well, I wish.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been way better.
Yeah, what did
That
you
one was
think
bad, I
about the
agree.
Odyssey? Yeah, Robot Head. What did you think about the score to the Odyssey? Did you get a migraine?
It didn't bother me so much during it, but that song at the end was fucking
That was
terrible.
awful.
That was just like I spent the whole film trying to stay in the film, and they kept trying to kick me out. And then as soon as it ended, they like just booted me. There was no like reading the credits and sort of slowly coming out of the film. It was just like bang, you're not in that world anymore. But the rest of the score, I think. The cinema I went to, I don't know if it's the sound. The sound was quite good. I didn't have any problems with the sound with the cinema I went to see. But yeah, but nothing memorable again. Like I couldn't tell you any of the score at all, like what it was like, or just all just in one ear and out the other.
That's
Yeah, it was
fair.
kind of like there was nothing musical about that score. It was just like
No.
and the freaking spears hitting the ground. I mean, oh, what a headache that gave me. Oh, because in the IMAX it was the Dolby Digital was like turned up to 11, and it was just, and then the seats shake. They have these kickers in the seats, so like that windstorm scene, like our seats were shaking like 5 to 7 minutes, like we're freaking on a roller coaster. I'm like, I can't take this anymore. This is killing me.
The most petty complaint I had and people like to say nitpick, they can say it about this, I'll accept that, was I didn't like the tone of his bow when he struck it before he went hunting, and he went boom, and it sounded like one of those sound effects for you made a mistake and you want to do a buzzer sound that doesn't sound right. So yeah, but that's a bit picky. But I didn't even like that.
I see what you mean.
Do over.
There was no fantasy to it. I'm going to get back on it. When he shot the deer and he walks over and the body's there. In any other film, that would have looked, a spectacular sort of scene, like beautifully shot and sort of the reveal of a human body, but laying in this sort of beautiful sort of area with flowers or something. You know what I mean? It would have looked a bit more magical. Yeah. There was no magic to any scene. Like they're walking up there and there's a tiger, there's a lion, like. Just give us some magic. Give us something in that scene, Have the witch be a bit witchy, like not just someone that's acting like they're in a completely different movie. Like, yeah, it was anyway, I won't go on. We've all got complaints.
And the funny thing is that was probably one of the better scenes in the movie.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Yeah, she was like a woman that worked late at NPR and had to get to her car at night by herself.
Back to your disguise, Piggy. Yep.
Well,
men are pigs.
I think we've gone over all the stuff that we were going to talk about. Unless you guys want to bring something up, I think we're. Anyone?
Mm-hmm. No,
Bueller.
So I was just reading. Someone said when she turned them into animals, that was brutal. They did look good when she turned them into the pigs.
That looked pretty good. Yeah, I do
that
agree.
Was done. Yeah,
that was well done. Yeah. Well, right now I'm 3D printing a thing diorama for myself that's going to look a lot better than the movie thing. So,
wait, we have another super chat. I have to pull that up. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So the MCU turned Wolverine into Kenny McCormick. Or I think they made Professor X more like Kenny McCormick. Although Wolverine as well. I guess both of them are Kenny McCormicks.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I don't think that they do that with Kenny anymore, but for those who don't know the reference early on in the earlier seasons of South Park, Kenny would always die, and then they'd say, "Oh, they killed Kenny, you bastards."
Yeah, you killed Kenny, you bastards.
Yeah, and then they they stopped that at some point.
Kenny ran out of lives, I guess, right? Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for the super chat and for everything for the other super chats too, Jason Webster, and other people that send super chats here. I appreciate that as well. And yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for your list, Professor.
Hold on.
I feel like Professor is like checked out.
No, I'm answering questions and talking to people in the chat and whatnot. So, yeah, no.
His motivator is working.
Yeah. He does a lot of work during the stream.
Cancel. There you go. There's our Rumble.
Okay, on Rumble we have Gaming Stuff, Phantom Monk, Angelo DD, Darren Mai, Elizabeth Quince, God Bless 5697, Loyish, Some Late Guy, Long Island 90. Thank you for the Rumble rants. Dude Bro Seth 420, Pure Blood Based Berserker, Pretender to You, McBuster. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, and over on YouTube, Mark S47, Red Pilled Rants, Andrew Hayes, LDF Numbers, Ethereal Dragon, Inquisitor Magnus, Rogue's Backstory, B Celeste, iLord Corey, Yowzer, Inku, Marla Sharondoff, Gavin Unit, Ernie H-Town, Poker Ace, Whalem03, Emperor Goodwin, Darth Scipio, Kuna Ritchie, Douglas Nutt, Hoot Owl, Lord Skywalker, Robot Head, Putin, Not Z3PO, One Dirty Bird, Tim Hayes, Yitis, John 1Z1, Keely Chow, Strugun, Stephen Mack, Badfoot, The Dead Man, Mark D with a C, Tomahawk 511, Caleb Levine, Kira Runte, Big Sur River, let's see, Queen Glamazon, Georges Irex, Darren M, Phantom Outsider, Trev Toon Art, Istophobos, Kodo Rob, Kingdom 1996, and Jason Webster. And of course, yes, we also received support over there from today, super chats from The Dead Man, Jason Webster, Kingdom 1996. And we really appreciate all of that support tonight. So thank you. Yes, and the Rumble rants, of course, from Some Late Guy, Long Island 90. Yep.
And thank you. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. I want to thank my co-host, Professor R2. Thank you for always being here. You're awesome. And for the VIP panelists that joined us, we have Mark D with a C. And I put his link somewhere in the chat, and hopefully you'll subscribe and check out what he's doing. Istophobos, as I was saying, and I wasn't joking, has launched his own YouTube channel, is doing really nice things there. You should follow him and sub. I put that link in there. And then we have Robot Head, which, of course, friend of the channel, and he makes rare appearances here and there, and we're really grateful that he joined us today. Thanks, man.
Outback Steakhouse, here we come.
It's happening. It's going to happen one day.
It's always good to be here. When I heard you talking about how you send me them, and I always go, yeah, bro, like a week later, you always make me sound like such an arrogant prick. I like coming on here.
I'm sure.
You get free Outback.
That was the impression. That was the impression that I was under. Yes.
That's terrible. I like
Great
it.
to meet Robot Head. Yeah.
It's lovely to meet you too.
And we're gonna go see the Odyssey again together someday, right? All of us. Yep.
Yes.
Mega Geek is taking his nephew to it as we speak.
There we go.
Oh wait, we have to do a raid. Sorry, before I forget, let's see for a second. I think we're expected probably. Let's do something that's being recommended. I don't know what to do here. Actually, I don't see it. Let's find something. I don't know if Phantom Monk is even here. Is he?
While
is
you're
he
looking,
here?
I should quickly say, the live show's coming back. The live show. I've just got to convince all these lovely people to join me soon. But hopefully soon we'll go live on the Robot Head channel again. Just a quick plug to remind everyone,
No,
especially
that's nice.
seeing half the shows here.
We definitely want to do that.
Yeah, Third Railify is not live at the moment. Just checking.
Let's see for a second. Wait, Peaceful Piano. Let's do that one. Is he still here, Phantom Monk?
It says he said he's looking. He's in the chat.
How about Peaceful Piano? Sorry, Matt Savina.
I'm getting called a prick in the comments now.
Trust me, I have to do a raid. Matt Savina.
Well, at least it's a comment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
All
So,
comments are
Phantom Monk,
comments are
see if Matt Savina is an option. It's funny that a guy that plays Peaceful Piano is about to get a raid from a bunch of people that talk about about the MCU and like weird
When you're
shit.
saying this, are you just sending people there, or is there a way on Rumble that you can actually direct?
Yeah,
the
you can
audience
direct
there?
them.
Yeah, it pushes them over there when the stream.
It's possible, by the way, on YouTube too. If you ever are in a giving mood, you could always direct it to another stream.
Yeah,
There you go.
Like the one that happens right after yours ends.
The one that happens to happen right after yours. If you're in a giving mood,
I like to choose ones that don't talk about me like I'm a prick. They're the ones I choose.
You're not going to find many of those.
No.
Whoa! Oh, the burn. The burn.
I think it's funny. That's probably the reason why you joined today. You were sitting in your car and you heard me explain the process of me sending DMs to you, and you were like answering them a week later.
I thought, I'll fucking show him how nice I am. I'll go on the fucking show.
I should do that every time.
I just saw your thumbnail when you went on Third Railify. You are ripped. You've been hitting the gym there.
Who's that?
The short ribs versus brisket Price of Reason stream.
Oh yes. I didn't even know I was on their thumbnail.
Yeah, you are completely jacked.
Super Soldier Serum?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, next time though, when I come back, Price, can we please have some more of you at events interviewing people where you only hone in on good-looking girls? They're my favorite videos.
I'll try my best. The thing is that sometimes I tell a story though, and it's like in the moment. Later, when I have to kind of recreate it or tell it like more that I'm being asked to tell it, it sometimes takes away from the charm of it.
No, I like the footage of you, the puppet, going around talking to people at Comic-Cons and things like that.
That's my favorite thing. I wish I had more of that.
You got to do more of that. We're actually having a good one here soon. Linda Hamilton's going to be. There's a heap of good people. I should get listed. We never have good things like Comic-Con that here, but there's one coming up that's got a lot of celebrities going to be there.
I'd love to interview Linda Hamilton. There would be a lot for me to talk to her about, including the scene which I enjoyed as a kid.
Oh yes, yes, the love making. The bit on the VHS tape, the Price wore out of her making love.
Wouldn't that be great if I told her that the
oh god,
have it printed on a T-shirt, but all worn out.
Well, we've got Terrificon coming up in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut the first week in August. So if anyone's in the Connecticut area,
there we go.
head over there and there's the Rip Price. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You got to get out there and interview more people, Price.
I feel like they took this from didn't like Swap Shop create this, or now I'm just confused about stuff.
I have no idea. I just saw it on their homepage when I was looking, but it definitely looks it definitely has suspicious hints of swappers in it. Absolutely.
I think
you've been hitting the roids there. You don't look all natural there, Price. I don't know.
Yeah. Notice how his neck got thicker and probably his testicles shrank.
It's the Outback Steakhouse diet. It's the Aussie diet.
Well, we've got Priscilla Presley coming to Terrificon. I'm just seeing now on the media
Oh,
guest.
no.
Wow.
Oh, she was just in the Bond movie I was watching, which is License to Kill and not Living Daylights. I mixed that up.
Shoot, Priscilla Presley was in a Bond movie?
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Oh, no. I mixed her up. What's her name? God, I'm boomering tonight. She was in Wonder Woman. She was
Deborah
in Three's
Winger?
Company. No, she replaced Suzanne Summers and Priscilla Barnes. That's
Priscilla
sorry.
Barnes.
Priscilla
Okay.
Barnes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wonked this. Yeah, so
That was
Ooh, the
completely
tits
all
are
over
gonna
the
be
place.
yeah. Ask Presley what's going on with the whole family fortune thing. There's some weird shit.
Yeah, that'll get
going
me
on at
booted
some-
out of the con pretty
at the
quick.
Michael estate. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark D with the C booted out of Terrificon for harassing Priscilla Presley, right? I mean, it is a good question to ask, but yeah, that's I gotta see Patrick Warburton though. That's awesome. He's gonna be there.
Oh, that's
Sick.
make sure to get a Brock Sampson autograph. Hey, Molotov cocktease.
Well, I think that this was a great stream, and now we can wrap it up.
Yeah. We got a lot of it's almost 4 a.m. now. Wow, we got an extra hour. It was so much fun.
I think that part of it was in the spirit of Robot Head joining. It's kind of like it wasn't nice to end the stream if he was already here, you know?
Oh, now I'm not
Yeah.
so bad after all.
No, we couldn't.
No,
stop
when you're
talking
here,
about
you're
the-
great.
Yeah, we couldn't get off the Odyssey, no matter how much we wanted to go to Doomsday. It kept taking over.
That's true, too. Well, I guess thank you to everybody. Thank you to Robot Head, Professor R2, Mark D with the C is to Phobos, for everybody here, and Rumble and YouTube and everywhere else. And I guess you all have a great night. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we do the Night Owl here at 11:45 p.m. Eastern. And since today is Tuesday, we'll see you here on Thursday at 11:45 p.m. Eastern. And that's it for now. Bye.
All right.
Take care, all.
Bye.
Take care.